What is up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. How's it going, Matt?
It's going, man. It's going.
Dude, it's been the weekend was crazy, and the last few days has been pretty nuts on X and Candace doing what she's doing. I mean, how about you? It's been nuts.
Yeah, it's a lot's coming out. There's a lot of things resurfacing from, things that were talked about last year, a couple years ago. It's all starting to resurface now. So, and it's time to revisit some things.
Yeah, and like having you send me things that I'd never seen. I never had a TikTok though. But like having a lot of the stuff that you are talking about, you were talking about a long time ago, but you got deplatformed and they tried to shut you up. And so this is probably going to be a lot of new information for a lot of us, but it's really, really relevant. And I'm really happy to have you on the show. Welcome to another episode of the Black Line Brief. I'm your host, Matthew McKim. Matthew McKim. And our special guest today is Matthew Tucciarone, former Turning Point Action, ballot chaser, and so much more, right? They want to try to label him as he was just a ballot chaser.
Yeah, he was just a ballot chaser. Well, it's funny that all these higher ups at Turning Point are now out there this week being like, he was just a ballot chaser. So that's how they talk down to their field workers, everybody. That's what they think about the boots on the ground and the people that are actually doing the work or think that they're doing the work. So that's you're just
that. I think it's pretty insane. And you saw the same kind of treatment to like Aubrey and other former, TPUSA employees that after they left got, ridiculed online and by people at TPUSA, that the moment you break away from the mold and start, saying the truth for what you've experienced and what you witnessed, no longer are they, acting like Christians and are going to be good people. Now they're just going to come at you.
Yeah. Oh, and some of the trolls that they've sent along this week on to comment, I mean, just, really vulgar language. I mean, it's nasty. Like, I don't even want to talk. It's just, it's gross. And you know what, guys? I did have to block a few people, but it wasn't because they were calling me out. It was literally just sexual language all over the place. Like, it's just, I don't have time for that. Neither do my followers. So those are the people I block.
Yeah.
But the ones that want to debate, I'll debate with them. And usually they end up blocking me.
You.
At the end. So I'll
like
do debates, but at the end they usually block me. So, but
yeah, they don't like the truth.
No, not at all.
The truth hurts. Yeah, I mean, another community member here, longtime member, Crystal Small-N, who was shouted out the other day on Candace's show. She's been attacked by all of them too.
Yeah,
and like they've said like really nasty things, like wanting her to be unalived and just the nastiest stuff. It's nuts.
This one guy told me to open my mouth and he's got a curb ready for me that he's gonna pretty much Tony Soprano me, in that stomp on my head on the curb. I mean, this is who TPUSA sends after you when you're exposing them.
Do you think that, okay, just in all honesty, this is our opinion, this is going to be your opinion, you think Tyler Bowyer is sending people?
I do, yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, given what was possibly said, right? Like in a meeting or whatever the context was, like he knows you're out here saying things and he's trying to discredit you and say, I don't know if it's slanderous, but negative things, like he's aware.
He won't do it himself either. I mean, one person even tagged Tyler and said, Tyler is laughing at you right now. And pretty much said that Tyler told her to come onto my platform and debate me. And then when we debated, she ended up blocking me at the end. So
who was that?
some I don't know. I think it's just a troll. I
Okay.
don't even know if she was telling the truth. I think she was trying to pretend,
Okay.
Tyler told me to do this and blah blah
Okay.
blah.
Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, they're
Yeah.
capable of anything. And I do have people in Arizona right now that are literally, there's a lot of people in Arizona that are really thrilled that I'm doing this
Yeah.
because Arizonans have not gotten justice in a very long time
Mhm.
because of the fiefdom that
Mhm.
Tyler Bowyer is running in Arizona, has been running since he was 24 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. And a lot of people in Arizona have talked about this corruption for years. It's just never now been brought onto a national level. And I talked about this yesterday on X. It's on a national level now. He has been pardoned by President Trump, but still, people now are, it's a court of public opinion at this point. And publicly, I think Tyler Bowyer is ruined. Absolutely.
He was federally pardoned, right? But
Yes.
state charges could still come, correct?
State charges could come, yes. And I think Arizonans, there's a lot of Arizonans, a lot of precinct people that are watching because they're grassroots.
Mhm.
The grassroots, Tyler has divided for many, many years with the neocons and the
Mhm.
Teneo network and all of his connections to the Four Corners region, the Mormon church, all of that. He claims I'm seventh generation
Yeah.
Arizonan, which
Yeah.
he is,
Yeah.
but that's not going to save him now.
No.
It's just not.
No.
It's out there nationally, and there are people watching in Arizona. I called a precinct friend of mine the other night, and I said to her, because Gina Swoboda, the former GOP chair Trump endorsed, is now following me on X. And I called a precinct person, a friend of mine, and I said, hey, any reason why Gina Swoboda would be following me all of a sudden? And she said, well, don't you know? You're the Arizona whistleblower of the corruption of Tyler Bowyer. People are watching you here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. They're like, so people are really happy to have a voice in Arizona right now. And there's a lot of people in Arizona that have been exposing Tyler Bowyer and TPUSA for a very, very long time.
But nothing
It's
comes
just
of it.
nothing comes of it,
Yeah.
So that's, when we talk about some of the topics tonight, Matt, when you bring up an article, um, this person that wrote the article, please give this individual a follow,
Yeah.
because this guy really knows Arizona politics very well and really knows and has been pretty much not after Tyler, but exposing Tyler for who he is for a very long time. Very
Did
long time.
did Sword Truth write it, or did he just repost the article?
He Sword Truth wrote it.
Oh, no way. Yeah, I
Yeah.
follow him. He follows me. I
Oh
like
yeah,
Sword.
Sword
Yeah,
Truth is
he's
awesome.
legit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very legit.
Did
Very
you
legit.
see, I mean, just to continue on with what you were saying about, Arizonans being just fed up. In the comments from our last video, there was a lot of Arizonans in there pledging support, telling you to do what you're doing and that they're fed up, they're tired, they see the corruption, they want these people out. And the changing of the guard that used to be around, like in his, parents and grandparents and great grandparents generations, just isn't the same. It's still kind of there. Obviously, the lingering power still exists, or else he'd be gone immediately. But it's changing. The tide, it is changing.
Yes, it is.
You know,
Yes. The grassroots people in Arizona have been dealing with this. They are America first. I will tell you, there are a lot of America first grassroots people in Arizona. They're in the precincts. Some of them are in the MCRC committee as well. Okay. They are tired of Tyler Bowyer and TPUSA and TPAction. It's just it, and he's caused division, and that's it.
yeah.
He's been causing division for a very long time.
Yeah. And what, like, so even when Charlie was around, do you think, so people still knew, right? They knew that, people within Turning Point, whether that be like
Yeah.
Tyler Bowyer or other execs, like say Andrew Kolvet or some of the
Mhm.
others, were corrupt and like shouldn't be trusted. How did people view Charlie? Did a lot of people distrust him in Arizona?
So I will say that yes, a lot of people in Arizona did not trust Charlie Kirk, but I will tell you, it's because guilty by association.
Yeah.
It's the Tyler Bowyer. It's Tyler Boyer's connections that he brought Charlie's way. A lot of people in Arizona never trusted Turning Point from the beginning just
Mm.
because of Tyler Bowyer. So therefore, Charlie was also labeled in that camp of corruption.
And
And look, do I think that Charlie is completely innocent in all of this? No.
right,
Do I am I completely innocent in all of this? Absolutely not.
right.
Okay? I've done things myself. I've seen things,
Yeah.
okay? I've done the bidding for people, okay?
Mhm.
I've done it. You when you're locked in like that, it is very hard to get away. It
Yeah.
really is. But at the end, was he the moral compass? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what Turning Point's missing now is that moral compass.
Yeah. Yeah. And so a couple things I want to just touch on there too. Like Tyler Bowyer is on the books the oldest employee, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So he was there from the beginning. He's the reason why Charlie left Chicago and brought the headquarters to Arizona. And so
Yeah.
from the beginning, you could understand why people in Arizona, and Charlie would have had probably no understanding of how the community viewed Tyler at the time. Right. And so he probably thought he was doing a great job. This gentleman, Tyler looks politically connected. He has connections and networks. Seemed like a smart move. But from the get go, people within the community and the political establishment out there, they see Tyler hitching his wagon to Charlie, and they're probably distrusting of Charlie from the beginning because Tyler was there from the beginning. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And look, when he met Charlie was 18 years old. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the, the very naive.
Yep.
That's all I can say. You're
Yep.
18. Okay.
Yep.
You're surrounded by all these political people all of a
Yep.
sudden.
Yeah. And the other thing that I was going to say is that I definitely think that Charlie was aware of the game, right? That you have to play. If you're
Yes.
going to be involved in politics, unfortunately, in this stage in the game, it is so, so deep that if you want to affect any meaningful change, you have to learn. And I think he thought he was going to be able to navigate it effectively and still stay intact. But I think at least as of 24, 25, I think he started to realize no, he was, and that's really in 25. I think obvious. I wonder when he realized that he was going to write that email. If he sat on that for a while, the one that he sent on September 2nd, saying he wants a Doge style effort to look into the books,
Right.
and wants company wide culture change. If he knew he was getting to the end of the rope for him, and he was like, I better send this out now before they take me out, before I get to send it out. But I think as he found out way more, I think that's when he really started to say, like, no, I'm not going to stay and do this anymore. You
Right.
know, I'm going to say whatever I got to say, and they'll kick me out. They'll vote me out. The board will vote me out. They'll take me out that way. I don't think that he really thought that they would take him out like that until probably the night before, when he sent out that text and said, I think that they're going to take me out.
Yeah.
And we know now, okay, so I don't want to release this yet because I'm going to do a video on this on Thursday, but I just watched Frank Turek and Jack Hibbs. Okay. Guess who? We always thought this Zoom call was the night before with Rabbi Wolicki, Josh Hammer, Frank Turek, Rob McCoy, Blake Neff, Andrew Kolvet. I thought it was all people virtual. No. Mikey, Frank, Blake, and Andrew were all there in person.
Yeah.
And somebody, I forget, I have to go back and listen to it, was coming in and out. It was either Blake or Andrew was coming in and out. But so they know exactly how that phone call went. But
Yeah.
Frank wants to make it seem like, oh no, Charlie was asking for tips on how to defend Philly. So disgusting. And Jack Hibbs, Butch Hibbs' brother, it was just despicable. But I'll break that down. That's not our topic of discussion for tonight. But all right, Matt, let me do a couple administrative things real quick. Guys, as you guys come in, please do me a favor. If you're either watching on my channel or on Matt's channel, do us both a favor and hit the like and the subscribe. It is the best way that you can help support a channel, and it doesn't cost anything. And then, later, don't have to do it right now. Always just double check that you're subscribed. It happens. Believe it or not, it happens. People get unsubscribed. They don't know it, and then they don't get notified. Then they're like, why did I get notified? They look and they're like, I'm not subscribed. I never unsubscribed. And so it does happen. And then make sure when you do subscribe, you click the bell and you hit the notifications to all, or else it'll automatically put you to personalized, which is nothing unless you personalize it. And I don't know anyone that personalizes the notifications. That's a lot of work.
Right.
But all right, check. Admin's out of the way. All right, Matt, where do you want to start, my man?
Ooh, where do we want to start? Well, there's a lot. I guess we can lead into, my X post this week that I made about Tyler Bowyer and the MCRC. Tyler was the MCRC chairman from 2015.
What does the MCRC stand for? For some of us that aren't in Arizona.
The Maricopa County Republican Committee.
Okay.
So it's the county GOP.
Okay.
So he was the chairman of the county GOP. And he right out the door, I mean, within a year or less, to be honest, Tyler was going through a vote of no confidence. 50% of the committee wanted him gone. Now, when you're in politics and you're in a position like that, when more than 25% of your committee wants you gone, that's a big deal. Okay. Mm-hmm. Half his committee, half of the MCRC wanted him gone. So they did a vote of no confidence. Tyler, it was a tie. What does Tyler do? Instead of recusing himself and having integrity and leaving, Tyler votes for himself and he remains in power.
How is that legal?
The bylaws, you got to look into the bylaws of the MCRC. So anybody out there that wants to research that, I will tell you that the MCRC and all the Arizona GOP politics and the committees and the precincts and all of that, they find ways to manipulate the bylaws. They find so many loopholes that's why the corruption is allowed to take place. So he puts a vote in for himself. He remains in power. After the 2016 election, he vacates his seat. So around 2016, some are specifying it was 2017 when he fully left. He vacates the seat, according to my research and talking to some Arizonans, and Grok confirmed it as well. Then he convinces Charlie in 2017 to open up the Mesa Turning Point office after stealing $50,000 on his way out of the MCRC.
Huh.
So Charlie, then in 2017, they opened up the Mesa office.
How did that not get? How is that not a crime?
He's been getting away with murder for a very long time, and this is why Arizona people are so fed up, the grassroots, because people like him get away with murder in Arizona. Probably the reason why he wanted Charlie to move everything from Chicago to Arizona, because Tyler knows you can get away with a lot.
Because he can control it. He can manipulate it. He knows how to. Who are
Yeah.
some of the people that are protecting him? Because it obviously has to be other people above him or around him that make sure that nothing comes of it. Like,
I mean, he's deeply connected with the Teneo network. The Teneo network is a group of neocons. The big donor money, the Mormon church, all
yeah,
of it.
that's huge.
I mean, his 7th generation ties to Arizona. Who knows? We got to look really deep into who this guy really is. You got to dig
Yeah.
deep into this Tyler Bowyer.
Yeah. And did he bring Terrell in to Turning Point?
I don't know if he brought Terrell in, but he was definitely working with his brother Tyler
Yeah.
Farnsworth.
Yeah.
So we can lead into that, Matt, if you want, or if you want
Yeah.
to play the Liz Harris stuff first and then give some context. But I found out something this week. Thank you to a follower of mine on X for bringing this up. And I should be giving this person credit. And I'm so sorry that I did not get the handle of this. And I could probably just look real quick. But
Yeah. Go ahead. You want to look?
yeah, I'll see. It might be really, really buried right now. But
That's
let's
okay.
just roll with it.
Yeah. That's fine.
So this person brought this up and said, you really need to look into Tyler Farnsworth because I've been exposing certain things about Liz Harris and her involvement in a project that I was involved in 2024 in around May and June of 2024. Okay. And pretty much Tyler Farnsworth, Terrell's brother,
Yep.
was a delegate in the RNC of 2024. The grassroots in Arizona were attacked heavily by people like Tyler Farnsworth, Terrell's brother, and they wanted to remove certain delegates and file a lawsuit against Shelby Bush and the delegates because they said that they were not MAGA and full force MAGA. These are neocons, so get it. So and Shelby said, no, we are supporting President Trump. We are just grassroots. We're America first. And I think that was the problem right there. Straight America first, grassroots. But Shelby was supporting President Trump from the beginning. And I believe Tyler and Liz Harris and all of them created this project that I was involved in to undermine Shelby, to create a narrative to come after the grassroots in Arizona. And it's interesting that Tyler Farnsworth, Terrell's brother, was part of this in 2024 against the grassroots initiative. And we all know about Terrell Farnsworth. Matt, if you want to recap on that real quick. But
yeah, Terrell Farnsworth, you guys, for those of you that are either new or don't know about what happened at UVU that day, Terrell Farnsworth is the head of the audio-visual department of Turning Point. He's the one that was in control of the soundboard with Philip Goldsberry just to Charlie's left. And he is the one that immediately after Charlie was taken down by what I believe to be a shape charge in the road mic. Terrell doesn't even like pause and like even try to like assess the situation or render any kind of support to Charlie or the people around him. He turns just like Blake Neff and Mikey McCoy away this way so they never have to see. Because if they were to turn, the easiest way to turn would be that way because that's the exit. It would have been right that way, but they would have had to look as they were doing that. They turn their back to Charlie and go the other way. And then he goes up on this rock wall and starts filming what is the most bizarre, weirdly like horrible timing and just the worst acting, saying like, oh, they just shot Charlie. They just shot Charlie. They killed him. And then he does like this whole like thing where he goes, and he's like, I don't know, and then after that,
right,
he comes back down and he starts to destroy the crime scene. He's walking on the crime scene with freaking fill up, and they're talking to each other, and they notice someone's, I think it is Adam Bartholomew's video is off to the right, the Life is Driving video. And you see them talking, and then one of them points over, and Terrell looks at Adam right at the camera, and he notices that he's being filmed. And I think that at that moment, though, they go like this. They go, it doesn't freaking matter. Like, they realize they're being filmed, but they go like, it doesn't matter. We have to get the SD cards. It doesn't matter. So they take the chair that Charlie was assassinated in, which would be very important for the crime scene, right? They stand it up. He stands on it, takes the SD card out, and then takes the SD card out of the front-facing camera that was to the front left of Charlie at an angle, which also would have given us a wealth of investigative information. We could find out so much from either one of those or both, if we got the full original videos from them. And then lies about it and says that he was worried that people were stealing hats, or, oh, then he told Candace, oh no, I know how evil people could be. Like, what are you saying? People are going to steal the SD cards, leave the camera, and then just post the video? Because he's talking about like protecting Erika. He wanted to protect Erika from seeing it online. He's given three different. He's a liar. Yeah. He's a snake, dude.
They're all snakes. They're all liars. They're all connected.
Is this Tyler over here? I know it's a very small photo over here to the right. Do you see it?
Yes, that's
the best one I could do. There's another Tyler Farnsworth, and it wasn't him. So this is when it says Arizona, and I figured that was him. That's the best one I could find this quick. Okay, but keep going. Sorry.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you they won't bring up the fact that this meeting that I was involved in with Liz Harris and Shelby Bush on June 8th, 2024. They won't bring that up. So right before the RNC convention in July in Milwaukee, I brought Mike Gill to Arizona. I actually invited him out. Mike Gill is this, like, he's known for like trying to take down the cartel, all this other stuff. But Mike Gill is actually an FBI informant. He's actually a liar. He's a shill. He was the mortgage guy, the number one mortgage brokerage firm dude back in the early 2000s in Maine. And he's pretty much grifted off of this fake story that he has created. I did not know at the time. He seemed very credible. He always seems very credible. He's worked with General Flynn on stuff. He screwed General Flynn over. I mean, this guy is a nut job. He's a liar. I didn't know at the time. Somebody introduced me to him. I said, why don't you come to Arizona? And Liz Harris got involved. And Liz Harris was like, oh, he knows about the cartel. I do know of Mike Gill, blah, blah, blah. He was supposed to hand me information before I was expelled in 2/23/23 from my seat, the House of Representatives. So she already knew him. That's the thing. She already knew him. So he came out. We did this project. I took him to the TPUSA Trump rally in June of 2025, along with Liz Harris, and introduced him to Shelby Bush. And then he came up with this whole crazy narrative that he knows that the convention is going to be brokered, it's going to be a brokered convention. And I need to get to Shelby Bush. I need to talk to her about this brokered convention. And so he pretty much, because he suspected that we were going to broker the convention and then instill Nikki Haley. That was his whole.
Sorry, what does broker the convention mean?
So broker convention is pretty much, I got it. It's let me ask, because it's really hard to explain.
Okay.
But give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, and I'll just say, this is what's crazy, right? Like the political, sphere, it's almost like a totally different world that for us on the outside, we don't even realize, like, just for that regular, citizen, we don't understand like all the intricate inner workings and like how, the pay to play and like who knows what, and even the subculture, the language, right? It's like its own thing that for most of us on the outside, we have such little knowledge as to all of this,
So here's the gist, Matt. So it refers to a presidential nominating convention, the RNC, where no candidates secure a majority of delegates. Delegates are in the states, of course, and they all come together for the convention. So they can't secure a majority on the first ballot. Okay. So you got Trump, Nikki Haley. So what they do is this leads to multiple rounds of voting, bargaining, and deal making among delegates to choose the nominee. So Liz Harris had mentioned to Mike Gill that she suspects that Shelby Bush is not full MAGA and that they were going to vote against Trump. So Mike creates this whole narrative. Oh, they're going to broker the convention, but let's see if Shelby is who she says she is, if she's really MAGA or not. So I bring Mike Gill. We meet Liz Harris at the TPUSA event, the Trump rally in June of 2024. And we introduce him to Shelby. And Shelby's like, yeah, she said in a video, I have heard of what a broker convention is. She said, let's set something up at my office. Let's talk about it. And that's what we did. We set something up. So on June 8th, we set up a meeting with Shelby Bush, the vice chair of the MCRC, myself, and a couple other third parties, and Liz Harris and Mike Gill. And right during this meeting, it was Mike Gill was acting erratic. He was threatening people. He just would not chill out. And he was just telling Shelby, you're going to broker the convention. You're working with General Flynn. You want hate, like all this crazy stuff. And I'm sitting here like, I'm embarrassed. I'm really embarrassed right now. And so Liz was just sitting there in silence the whole time. She wasn't defending Shelby. She's the RNC. She's about to be sat in 2025. She was elected in 2024. She takes her seat in 2025. Liz Harris was about to become the RNC National Committee woman for Arizona, and she's allowing this to take place in the MCRC. She's allowing this guy to, she's sitting there in silence, letting this whole thing play out. And then finally, the meeting kind of got productive a little bit. Mike Gill calmed down. After the meeting, we go and meet Liz Harris. Liz pulls out from her pants, inside her pants, a wire and audio. And she said, I recorded the whole thing. Mike Gill, knowing that Liz would never release this audio, then goes on a podcast that gets 300,000 views nationwide. Michelle Moore goes on her podcast and says he knew Liz would not release this. It was his insurance policy. And he's talking about Liz has a secret recording. I have a secret recording. Shelby Bush has a secret recording. And that Liz had it in her underwear as well. And then creates this whole narrative that in that meeting that took place, that we were all coming together to broker the convention, and that we were gonna divide the delegates, and it was going to be a brokered convention. He creates this whole lie. And I text Liz and I say, Liz, release the recording so that people understand that this is not going to happen.
Yeah.
What are you? You're the RNC National Committee woman. What are you doing? And she goes, never. I have it all in text.
Why?
Because I think she really wanted Shelby Bush out. She used Mike Gill to do this. She rides the coattails, as like we want to put it.
Yeah.
Of things that are going to be relevant to her, that are going to boost her.
Is Shelby Bush related to the Bush family at all?
No.
Oh, okay. I just had to ask. I'm not from Arizona, so like these are new names to me right now.
No.
So Mike Gill is that's not the guy, like when I just Googled it, it's not the former Trump administration official that died.
No, that's not. No.
Yeah. All right.
No.
I must have spelt it wrong. But I was going to try and pull it up, but
no.
All right, never mind.
So that's what really happened. Now they're saying that this Tyler Farnsworth that filed all these lawsuits against them, they're not giving the backstory. They're not giving the backstory at all. The backstory is the reason why that took place is because Liz Harris caused division right before the RNC. And then during the RNC, Arizona was put in timeout. They weren't allowed to really access a lot. They were told to sit here. They were in the back. I mean, this is what they did to the Arizona delegates.
Yeah.
And then somehow Tyler Farnsworth, related to Terrell Farnsworth, his brother, is involved in taking down these grassroots people who have done the work for years. I mean, this is the level of corruption coming out of Arizona. And I find it interesting, and it's really interesting that Liz would pull something like this because, as you know, in the recordings of the phone conversations I've had with Liz Harris, she wasn't too fond of Turning Point or Tyler Bowyer or even Charlie Kirk. So,
man, there's so many of them. So like I remember too, Candace Owens showed I don't know if it's like his dad or its uncle, but there's so many Farnsworths in Arizona. There's senators, there's like the Farnsworth family is a prominent political dynasty in Arizona, Republican politics, dynasty in Republican politics in Arizona, known for their staunchly conservative platforms, ties to the LDS church, and deep roots in the East Valley. Family members have continuously held state legislative seats for decades. David C. Farnsworth, Eddie Farnsworth, Julie Farnsworth, and then you have Tyler, and then you have Terrell, and I'm sure there's more.
Yes. And I do have the receipts to all these conversations, and I have released them. And there is a video that I did in an interview with Shelby Bush, and we talked about it. I showed all the receipts, everything that Liz said, me asking her, hey, release the recording, and her saying never. This did not get much traction in Arizona. I wonder why, you know, but it did get enough traction to where the precinct started talking about it, but it kept getting swept under the rug, under the rug, swept under the rug. And I'm going to read right here. I have a text from a friend in Arizona because I asked, I'm like, you know, why would Gina Swoboda be following me? Who's the former AZ GOP chair who just stepped down? And she said, well, Swoboda and Liz are not friends. Gina Swoboda is closer to Shelby. She actually was endorsed by Tyler Bowyer in the beginning as well. So Liz Harris doing what she did 6 months later with Mike Gill splits the grassroots again. Pretty much is what she's saying is that Liz split the grassroots in 2024 during the Mike Gill stuff. And now, because Tyler switched on Gina and Liz can't stand Gina Swoboda either, Liz hates all rivals. Liz must be relevant. TPUSA gives her that. You see how these politicians play? They don't like each other, but then all of a sudden, when it's time to be relevant, they will grasp onto one another.
And Liz Harris,
that makes sense?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Okay. And what is Liz Harris supported and like endorsed by TPUSA still?
No, Gina Swoboda was actually endorsed by Tyler Bowyer. back in the day.
Okay.
But now they're taking her down, according to this precinct committee person that just messaged me that.
So, do you want me to play one of the first audios?
Sure, let's
do you
do
want me
it.
to do the one that says meeting or the one that says talking? Or does it not matter?
It's the minute, the minute one, the one that's like a minute.
Okay,
Yeah, the shorter one.
Let me give these 4 super chats a shout out real quick. We got a new member here with I messed this up yesterday. Michelle Mabel, I think that's how you say it. And then we have, and I know how to say this now. It's Nana, because she spelled it out phonetically. I said it was Nana. She's like, no, it's said Nana. Thank you for joining the team, you guys, and becoming members. And then here we go. Just Jessica, high five. I've been posting your video from last night everywhere today in super chats. High five. Great information for connecting the dots. I don't know if that's for me or for you. Did you do a video last night?
I did. I think I made about 5 posts yesterday on X.
Okay. Oh yeah.
So
no, definitely on X. Yeah. I was reposting you all day. Trying to get as much traction and much eyes to see this stuff as possible. Because there's clearly still a lot of people that have the wool over their eyes and are supporting Tyler and TPUSA and Turning Point Action and everything.
Oh, there is, and like I said, I have the receipts. Like we can't even cover everything in 2 shows that we've done so far. No. Like this is
a lot.
A lot.
And then and then always be true. I was about to ask about Uncle Senator Farnsworth. Was it him at Fort Huachuca, not Amadei? Yeah, it's definitely not Amadei. We know that, right? I think, from my recollection, Candace said it's not Amadei, but that she, I thought, was leaning towards more Senator Farnsworth. And then when she pulled up a video, it's like, oh yeah, that guy looks like almost the same, and so because Amadei was actually there for roll call, I'm pretty sure was on video. So yeah, and they do. You're right. They look very similar. Good eye. All right, let's see. I have it here. Let me pull. I think this is the short one. Let me see. Hold on. All right, I got to back it up. Okay. Let me go here. All right. I have to do it this way. There's no video, but this way everyone can hear it. All right. And then Matt, when I hit play, just give me a thumbs up so I can tell that everyone can hear it. Okay.
The other very delicate thing we have going on is all this stuff with Israel. Now, Thaler is Jewish. Breger is Jewish. Like, when I say Jewish, I mean, like, not they're very Jewish, meaning Bev Goldstein. Like, there's so many names I can throw out that I do believe.
Wait, is this the right one? Or is this not the right one?
This is. Yep.
Okay, cool.
When we look at Turning Point and we look at all of this, I do see Mossad. I see there again. There's so many other things where I'm connecting dots. I think Alex Jones is controlled by them. Charlie Kirk's controlled by them. Steve Bannon. I can't believe nobody's killed me. I really can't. I have no idea why.
Because God is protecting right now. There's a lot of people that are surprised are not dead right now, but nobody gets to do anything unless God gives it permission.
And I'm with you, Liz. I mean, I've already had people show up to my door from what I've exposed, but I'm still alive. We're meant to be alive. So,
yep.
Yeah. It's so crazy hearing this, like that. I was like, talking like that, like people coming to my door, which was true. I was getting letters, postcards sent to my home. I was doxxed, because of Mike Gill and because of what Liz Harris did as well,
Yeah.
And that during that time, I was already doxxed before Mike even came. I mean, it's just like, and it just continued. And I wasn't getting doxxed until my involvement with Michelle Moore and Mike Gill on her show before he came to Arizona. I was getting threats and all this sorts of stuff, and it's just nuts. And then after the Liz Harris stuff came out about the secret recording that Liz was holding on to, I'm getting letters sent to my house like, you better release the recording. We're coming for you. Release the recording. Release the recording. I'm sending all this stuff now to, I even emailed Gina Swoboda, the AZ GOP chair, and I said, this is ridiculous. Like, you got a crazy RNC committee woman that is just running rampant, doing what she wants to do. I'm getting threats. People are doxing me. And this, no response. It's nuts, and all the evidence was out there. And I'm talking, and I can't believe I'm talking to Liz and just saying, yeah, people have showed up to my door, thankful to be alive. I'm not suicidal. Yeah.
How common is it? I mean, that's totally a Mossad thing, is to like secretly record people. It's so funny, but how common is it within this?
I will say that this recording wasn't a secret recording, the one that you all just listened to. Right. Liz Harris agreed to it. She agreed to be recorded. Okay. She agreed to all of it. Okay. We all did. And plus, in Arizona, it's a no party consent state. So like, you could actually record somebody without telling them.
And it's fine.
And it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, how common is it for what she did though, right? To record with like wires underneath them.
They're all recording each other. I mean, it's not, look at what Carrie Lake and, that was involved in with that recording that came out. Okay. Yeah. Everybody's recording each other in Arizona because you can't trust anybody in Arizona. You just can't.
Well, and how many people are a lot of these politicians in connection with in government, whether that be like CIA, NSA, Mossad, that like give them this idea? Or is it just something you learn from, like, where, at what part in this, in the political, hierarchy, as you're moving up, do you realize like, oh, this is just something we do? We record each other and get compromise on each other, and then we use it as leverage. Like,
I think that, well, I wasn't trying to use anything as leverage.
Oh, for sure.
So, well, yeah, but me and another person who were working with Liz, who's on the phone call, we were investigating certain things about election integrity, the cartels and stuff. Like, I was about to write an article, I was actually doing some investigative journalism. That's why we went on record about it. That's why this was, but then I didn't know I was going to have to use this information in 2026 because somebody killed my former CEO. Yeah. And I go back to my archives of all this stuff, and this is how God works, everybody. I'm telling you, this is how the man upstairs works. And I'm like, holy crap, I remember about Liz Harris. A friend of mine brought it up. Remember when Liz talked about Charlie about being Mossad and being this, and Tyler Bowyer that? And I said, yeah. I'm like, holy crap, this needs to be out there. This needs to be released.
Yeah. All right. You want to play number 2?
Sure.
All right. Let me pull it up. All right. That was that one. All right. Let me back it up. All right. Here we go.
But you need to get on. What committee was it again?
The Municipal Oversight and Election Committee.
What are your thoughts about Daniel McCarthy? I was actually part of his whole Patriot Party stuff. I was LD6 for him and Steve Daniels, and I'll tell you what, I don't have a really good taste in my mouth about either of them. So I don't know if he was there to be as well set you up. But I'm just saying, I've worked closely with Steve Daniels in the Patriot Party of Arizona.
So I did not, but that's what Mark Fincham has been accusing me of. is being an operative for the Patriot Party. Mark Fincham has told more people that I'm a Patriot Party, and Tyler Bowyer was fearful that I was Patriot Party. And because, so what I want to say is I think that McCarthy, I'll tell you right now, Tyler Bowyer and Turning Point were scared shitless of Daniel McCarthy. They hated him. Jeff DeWitt spent $100,000 in trying to stop John Fillmore from getting the Patriot Party going. You know about that, right?
Yes, I do. Yes. Okay.
So that, I mean, that's all more recent. They are so scared of the Patriot Party, which makes me, but then everything that, so my relationship with Daniel McCarthy, when I cut it, was when I got pissed, was when Daniel wanted me, this is before I was sworn in, he wanted me to do the really brave thing and to endorse Daniel McCarthy as president of the United States. And I'm like, what? And he got really offended because he's of this belief, he has like 100 points of everything that Trump did wrong.
Yes.
So but Daniel McCarthy wanted to be president. I'm like, Daniel, what are you talking about? And Steve Daniels got really upset with me because I would not endorse him for AZ GOP chair back in 2023. And I was like, Daniel, they will burn the building down before they let you become chair of AZ GOP. That's why I was standing behind someone named Farah Jabran. Mm-hmm. So they both got pissed at me. But Daniel McCarthy, my interpretation of Daniel was that he was trying to expose this stuff and they wouldn't give him the time of day, and he eventually gave up and just went away.
Yeah, and that's what did happen. The thing is I think there's a lot of things that they're on point with. I started back in a way when he started coming after Trump hardcore. I think they're exposing a little bit, 80% of the truth. They're giving it to people that sounds great in Arizona for Arizona conservatives, so they jump on board with the Patriot Party. But I do, in the back of my head, I believe that they have ulterior motives once they reach the top, once they get an election, once they get into an office position, because of the way they act when you say, no, I can't endorse that. And I said certain things to Daniel. No, I'm not going to go publicly and talk about Trump. And they start coming after you. And they start getting really angry with you. And then they start their gaslighting. And then they use their activism skills that they teach us LD leaders to do. And they come after you. That's my experience. And that's my analysis of Daniel McCarthy and Steve Daniels.
So what I question is, why would Daniel McCarthy, if he was truly, like, him calling Ben Toma, that's like the weirdest thing in the world. I'm like,
right.
Daniel, why would Ben Toma even listen to you? There's really weird things going on. But Daniel McCarthy, I was witness to him and Charlie Kirk. So Charlie Kirk called me in with Tyler, and Charlie said, come in and do a segment on One Day, One Vote. This was about 2 years ago. So I went in and frickin' Marge, whatever, Daniel McCarthy's new squeeze shows up. And Tyler's like, I hope you're not upset, but we're going to do a show with the both of you. And I said, all right, fine, whatever. And we record it. It never airs. They never aired it. I'm like, why did I even bother? But what's interesting is that Daniel McCarthy was trying to get in Charlie's face and asked about a guy named Foster Fries, who was basically one of the money founders for Turning Point. And Charlie Kirk And Tyler and everyone that like bodyguards came in, they just pulled Charlie Kirk away from Daniel. It's like they are scared of him. Like they can't just answer simple questions.
Right.
And then the other thing that surprises me about Charlie Kirk is that he is a member of TNEO. That's a whole separate thing, but they're neocons. I don't even think they're true conservatives.
All right. We'll stop it there for now, and then let's talk. Give us some context, man. This is nuts.
I know it's a lot to unpack. So we have Liz Harris, who is the RNC National Committee woman, saying all this stuff about Tyler Bowyer, Charlie Kirk, the organization Turning Point, right? But I find it so interesting that now Liz Harris is working with the very same people, Tyler Bowyer, doing projects to get certain people elected within the AZ GOP, trying to remove Gina Swoboda. And they're all working together now. After she said all of this stuff and then tells me how she despises Israel, Philly.
You're good.
In a private conversation as well, because I had to follow up with her and be like, what do you mean, like Jewish? Like, I wanted to get it out, and pretty much like she's supposed to be America first, but now because TPUSA gives her relevance and she can't stand Gina Swoboda, she's going to do projects with Tyler Bowyer. That's why this whole meeting that we were involved in with that Mike Gill and the broker convention and Tyler Farnsworth, I mean, who knows? Was Liz sent in from the beginning to cause this division by these people, by Turning Point? Who knows? But I think a lot of Arizonans want answers, and I think we need to investigate Liz Harris a little bit more and her involvement with Turning Point USA and TPAction and Tyler Bowyer, because right now, from what we're listening to in these audios, she had dirt on these people. It's all about blackmail. They're all blackmailing each other.
Yeah, that's kind of why I was asking what I was asking earlier. It's like it's just baked into it. It's just a part of it for whatever reason, which probably made Charlie a unique, difficult person in this arena that probably was aware of that. And as far as I know, wasn't able to be blackmailed and be put in a compromised situation, at least to the degree in which like they wanted to try to put him in. But I also think that she said she didn't like Charlie and she didn't like Turning Point at that time, but now Charlie's gone. So what's really changed then? And now she's working with Turning Point. In my opinion, is like, even though Tyler still was able to do pretty much his, he was running Turning Point Action. I mean, Charlie would still find things out. Like he would still probably try to keep Tyler somewhat in check, but now with Charlie gone, that's not going to happen at all. Erika's not going to keep him in check.
Right.
I don't think it's like the floodgates were open,
Yeah.
Dang. Let me get to two of these and then we're going to move on to the next thing. Okay.
Okay. Oh, and Foster Freeze
yes.
Foster Freeze, for those who don't know, he is pretty much, he donated $10,000 as seed money to get Turning Point up and running. Now I'm going to discuss something. I did a video on Foster Freeze, and for some reason when I did this research and I was able to pull it up on the, the government website on the Jeffrey Epi files. Okay. One of the documents had Foster Freeze listed on it, and Wyoming's high society circles, which is where Charlie had met Foster Freeze as well, is in Wyoming. So I went to Grok today to confirm that, because Grok confirmed it for me months ago.
Yeah.
And now Grok is saying no. So I had a video and I was going to play it, but you know what? I decided to explain it because I don't know. And I don't know if that stuff was fake back in the day.
Right.
I actually looked it up too on the actual website too, and I confirmed it with Grok.
Yeah.
And now Grok's saying no.
I think that it was right. And I think that, I mean, from what I'm seeing, even on ChatGPT and the online, like the censorship is like ramping up. You know, like they get you to trust the app, the service, the website, whatever. And you believe that, look at it's giving us the truth and the real information. Then as time goes on, they just ratchet up the censorship and the control, and it's not going to bring you all the facts and the truth like it did in the very, very beginning. But yeah, so Foster Freeze was one of the original investors in Turning Point way back in the day.
Yes.
And it seems that at least at one time, his name was listed in the Jeffy Epi email file dump, and that he's in there, and there's some sort of connection. Were you ever able to kind of find out in what context he's being talked about in the files?
No, he was just listed on a document, part of the circle that Jeffrey Epi was swimming in. So I want to bring back too, if y'all know in that, if y'all have listened to that video, and you can when Liz Harris says Daniel McCarthy wanted to know about a Foster Freeze, and that's when his security detail came rushing in and grabbed Charlie. And I want you all to see, do you see the level of control that this man was under?
Yeah.
Why did Daniel want to discuss Foster Freeze? Well, I will tell you this. I know in the audio I said that I don't trust Daniel and Steve. Well, that was because they were going after Trump. And I started, and that's when I was part of MAGA. Okay. And I was like, dude, no, like, what are you guys doing? Blah, blah, blah. Now it makes sense, because I know Daniel and Steve are very America first. They're very grassroots, and they probably brought up Foster Freeze to talk about probably Mossad and connections, etc., and dirty money. That's when his security detail came rushing in and grabbed him. The level of control that Charlie Kirk was under is really stated right there out of the words of the RNC National Committee woman, Liz Harris.
And it's not like it was a physical altercation, right? They were just, I mean, what's his name was just asking about Foster Freeze and like the connection and involvement. And then Dan Flood, who I think does have ties back to Philly. Dan Flood does. I don't know. I mean, I know that like Brian Harple and them are Zionists and like, you know, pro Philly, but I know for a fact Dan Flood has actual like real ties back to Philly.
Yeah.
And he was Charlie's personal executive security man. So it most likely would have been Dan Flood and Brian Harple that snatched Charlie up and got him out of there.
Yes, I would have to agree. And I can say, you know, when Liz said, well, you know, Daniel McCarthy got in Charlie's face, you know, I don't think it was like he got in his face. I think Daniel McCarthy can be a bit, he's very direct. He wants to know. Steve is the same way. They just want to know the truth and facts. So Daniel is, he could be a bit abrasive, but like, I don't think he got in Charlie's face and threatened him by any means.
You know, when you defend your friends out of ignorance, like you don't really know the truth, but like somebody comes and they're like asking questions at your friends and you have no clue about like what that is. And so from your ignorant standpoint, you're like defending them. Yeah. And I think that's what happened. I think true America firsters that knew what was going on and saw the writing on the wall and saw that MAGA was already being infiltrated by neocons and Zionists and Philly firsters and Philly always and America never. And they saw that Charlie surrounded by some of these people, was being funded by some of these people, and were asking questions. And I think out of Charlie's probable ignorance, Charlie was going to defend Foster Freeze and the people that he thought were good people, that he thought were on the team.
Right. And the thing is, and Daniel and Steve were pushing for 1 day, 1 vote. And a lot of grassroots people are pushing in Arizona for 1 day, 1 vote, because in the Arizona Constitution, It literally says 1 day, 1 vote. It's there.
I mean, it should be that way everywhere.
And
like,
it should be that way.
I agree.
But you got these grifters like Turning Point that convince people like me, the I'm just a ballot chaser, to go door knock to get people to vote early. So therefore, Steve and Daniel, the 1 day, 1 vote. No, Turning Point doesn't want that. They don't want that. They want you to vote early. They want you to ballot harvest. They want you to take people, help them fill out their ballots, etc. They're pushing for, the thing is we knew how much corruption came out of the 2020 election because of this, but yet we got these neocons and Turning Point convincing us, well, we got to play the game. So let's do da. No, it's a grift. It's a lie. Chase the vote, get out the vote, all that. It's all a lie. Scott Pressler's app is funded by Superfee Technologies.
Yeah.
Very connected to Tyler Bowyer. Okay. Yeah. Come on. Enough's enough. We're done. And you know what? And I had messaged Steve Daniels in, I want to say February of this year. And I actually told him, I just said, I have to be a man right now and I have to apologize to you guys because you know what? You were all telling the truth. You all were telling the truth from the beginning and I scolded you all for it. And he was very nice, wrote back and said, understand, man, it's just, this is where we're at today. And this is what's going on. And he goes, I really appreciate the apology. I said, you're welcome, brother. Like, I get it now. I get it.
Is ballot harvesting illegal?
Some states, yes.
In Arizona?
I don't think so.
Andrew Kolvet let it slip on an episode. He said that they were ballot harvesting and then he corrected himself. And he was like,
yeah.
And then he said ballot chasing.
That's the thing is in training. I remember Matthew Martinez, Tyler Bowyer's data queen.
Yeah.
Talking about ballot harvesting.
Yeah. That might be a good way. Would this be a good time to bring up, you want to talk about data video?
No, it's not legal in Arizona.
Okay.
It's been restricted since 2016.
That makes sense why Andrew Kolvet corrected himself on camera.
Yeah, exactly. Man.
Would this be a good time?
These people can't fool us these days when they say certain things. We have AI now. Okay. It's just like, come on, give it up, people. You all are being watched.
And I think
by your own system.
Their vanity and their desire to be relevant and influential actually is like their worst enemy because they get on screen and then the subconscious, these Freudian slips are such a beat that they'll be on camera just like totally and then they just slip and then you're like, wait, what did you just say?
Yeah.
Like you just said that someone really powerful called Erika and said, what do you know? The day of Charlie's assassination or the day after? And she said, everything. What? That's the weirdest thing ever. Who did that? Why would they do that? You're saying JD or Trump or Bibi? Like who else would it be? Very important. I can't say who it is. They let it slip all the time. Yeah, they're not the smartest tools in the shed.
No, they're not. And y'all forgive me for fact checking right now, but
you're okay.
I have to. And like I said, like Matt said in the beginning, like there's a lot of words and things and laws and all that. Even with my expertise and experience in politics, I have to double check certain things because it's very convoluted, convoluted.
Yeah.
So
it's much better to check now in live than having to issue a total retraction later and be like,
exactly.
I totally messed up. That's not what that means, or
Yeah.
Let me read 2 of these, and then the next. You can tell me which video you want to go do next. But we were talking about data, and we can either pull up the the Sword Truth article, or we could talk about the data video that I could play.
Let's do the data video, and then we can lead into Sword Truth's article.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. First, I'm going to read this by Just Jessica. High five. The Many Faces of Erika Kirk. Oh, okay, cool. You were talking about my video from yesterday. Cool. Thank you. The Black Line Brief 13216 is an eye opener for how Erika let people talk about Charlie while he was here. Yeah, while he was alive. I know, right? Everyone go watch it. It's sad and disgusting. Yeah, I agree. I don't want to give too many people like my secret sauce, but like finding, I think it's important, especially with my background in applied behavioral analysis, analyzing people's behavior. And like none of us really knew Erika until September 10th. And then, since then, right? Others did. You knew her in like 1-2 contexts, like you knew of her, but really you had to be like a young Christian Protestant woman that went to Young Women's Leadership Summits or some of the other, speaking engagements that she went on at all the Calvary Chapel churches, like freaking James Cadiz, to know who she was. And so for most of us, like for us to understand like who she is and has she been like this the whole time? Well, we can look at her before Charlie. She's never been like, she was like that up until like the day she met Charlie, which is nuts, right? And this new version of her was like at Bob's. It's like she got like, activated at Bill's or Bob Burgers, and she's been this Christian trad, person ever since. But me going back and looking at old videos of her and how she talked about Charlie 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 11 months ago in June, is what I'll be doing and bringing more stuff to you guys as we go along. But yeah, thank you, Just Jessica. High five for that shout out. And yeah, go back and watch my video from yesterday. Please do that. Mystic, thank you for the 5 Black Line Brief gifted memberships. You're the best. Mystic is the oldest mod of the channel. Not like her age, but she's like the OG.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to bring up, here it is. All right. The data video, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to start there. All right.
Hey, let's talk some data about the Turning Point app and the corrupt.
Let me turn it up. Okay, that's as loud as that goes. Hold on. Could you hear it when I hit play?
I can hear it. It's a little low, but
okay, it'll be louder now.
And how they skew the numbers to make themselves look like they did something for an election. Yeah, I got the inside scoop. Let's go inside and talk.
Let's start with this. Superfee Technologies. That's the technology company that created the Turning Point app. You want to know where this company is located? It's located in Delaware. Interesting, huh? Egyptian Plains, Delaware. Yeah, let's talk more about it. So this is what the Turning Point app looks like when you log in. It gives you a list of voters to your geographical location. But here's the thing. This app has the same voter data that the county GOP offices have in every state. Okay, so this Turning Point hat represents 280. How they came up with 280 was a few years ago, Abe Hamadeh lost his election. He's our current U.S. Congressman for Arizona. He lost his election by 280 votes. And they're saying that if we knock enough doors, we could have gotten him across the 280 mark. So therefore, when we did it for Trump, everybody's goal was to hit 280. Okay, so that's a lot of, door knocking. You can do it. And I did the majority of my door knocking, and I got the majority of ballots dropped. But we all had a little help. You want to know who we had a little help from? The county GOP office. You see, Turning Point likes to recruit current politicians, people within the GOP, people within the county GOP, etc., and they recruit them and they make them big time players at Turning Point. Okay, so I had on my team Lucy Wee, who is the vice president of the GOP for my county. She had the data already. And we had to plug our information of ballots dropped per voter that we talked to into a thing called Google Sheets, which is called Streak. Okay, it's a pipeline, it's a project management tool. All right. Lucy, the vice president of the GOP, gave us that information. So when we were scrambling towards the end of the election cycle, trying to get our numbers up, Lucy had all the data. We plugged it into Streak, and therefore Turning Point got credit. You see, the county GOPs, the precincts, they do that work already. But what's interesting, why is Tyler Bowyer pushing so hard for his data app to work and to make Turning Point look really, really good. Here's the thing, Tyler Bowyer, and now he sits on the board of directors as the chairman of Super V Technologies. So as the data increases for his company, he gets kickbacks and returns and money and all of this. You see where the grift is starting here, folks? But it is interesting, though, that Super V Technologies is located in Delaware. Really interesting. So, Turning Point USA, all they do is harvest data from other sources and then take credit from it. That's it. They're a fraud.
Dang.
Now,
Hold on.
I do want to say, like, do we have ballot chasers and door knockers, of course, that get the job done? Yes. But their data is skewed just because of what I went through in my county. If they're recruiting all these politicians and all of this, who's to say that they're not doing this in Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, around the country?
Everywhere.
Okay. And I do also have to make a correction about the Delaware thing. Look, I know a lot of companies do register in Delaware, okay, just because of it's cheaper, it's the taxes, whatever. All right. So, me bringing that up, is it a a parallel to, Delaware, Egyptian plains, etc.? One could say, okay, but the pushback that I received from that video, even from fellow friends, they're like, Matt, things are registered in Delaware because of the way business is conducted in Delaware. So I just want to put that out there. I'll let you all decide. All right. So
it could be just a traditional, like, smart business decision that people did that, but it also is because of the code, the tax codes and everything, it draws a lot of suspicious and not up and up companies and businesses to come there and register there. So it goes both ways.
Right.
Yep. And wait, who else is involved in Superfeed that we know?
Miss Lori Franzfey.
Yes.
Erika's mother, who sits on the board.
Yeah. And
of directors as well.
Is Brad Parscale involved too?
I don't know about that.
All right. I wouldn't be surprised. He's involved in the FAR filing, the Clock Tower X, Havas, and Show Faith by Works. And they're using, so in that way he is. So hold on. In that way, I know for a fact he is involved because he's on the filings and they're using Superfeed to do this geotagging, geocaching, and all that with the FAR filings, the Clock Tower X and the Show Faith by Works. So he's involved. He may not be on the board, or an owner of Superfeed, but I mean, they're using it to do that and to collect data on all of us Christians, whether that be Christian churches, Christian colleges, and all TPUSA events. So, hey, if you're thinking about going to a TPUSA event, you might want to buy a Faraday bag to put your phone in before you go in there. Or maybe you want to buy a burner phone and leave your real phone at home, because once you go into one of these events with your phone, that's it. It gets checked and taken hostage. And then everywhere you go, it's going to do Bluetooth and Wi-Fi handshakes with other people's phone. And it eventually is going to graft everybody's phone in this web. And they're going to be collecting data on all of us.
Yep. Yeah. And it's nuts. And anybody who has the Turning Point Action app downloaded, you can get on there, pinpoint your geographical location, and you can see your neighbors. You can see their addresses. You can see people's phone numbers. Anybody. You don't have to be a ballot chaser. So all of your data is out there really to the public. Beforehand, you would have to really search the county records and stuff. Like, it's there, but it takes a lot more legwork. Now it's at the tip of your fingerprints, or your fingers, guys. You can literally go on this app and dox people pretty much. I mean, this is really the level that we've gotten to here. They are playing in the hands of of all this monitoring that's going on in this country.
And you guys,
communism. It really is. It's
and
straight up communism.
100%. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry.
No, you're good, Matt. Go ahead.
And Lori, right, is Erika's mom. Erika also has a Bible in 365 app that I guarantee is probably using the same technology. And think about Club America. They're trying to hit it from like the seniors in our society all the way down to high schoolers. I guarantee you they have action apps or Club America apps that they use to communicate with the chapter heads and the leads, and a way to, get out, and be active in their communities. Guaranteed these phones are probably part of this whole web as well. They're going to, data is the new gold. Data
is gold.
They can use it for their own reasons, and then they can resell it for millions to so many other companies that want this data. It's nuts, man.
Yep, they're all part of it, and the person who's really monitoring your stuff and who's Tyler Bowyer's data queen is Matthew Martinez. And when I worked there, he was 23, 24 years old. So you have some egotistical, fake and gay boy, lavender boy in their mid-20s looking at your data every day, all day, every day. This is who's in charge of your data, is some 25-year-old egotistical fake and gay liar who does the bidding for Tyler Bowyer.
Yep. And if you live in California, Arizona, Utah, Colorado, Idaho, you want to look up the file filing to see if your church is on there. And if your kids go to a Christian university, you need to look it up to see if that university is on there. Because if it is, your guys' phones and their phones are already wrapped up in this. And by the way, guess who did the filing? Foreign Ministry of Philly. So that's who's doing it. And they're doing it with Lori Franze, with Terrell Farnsworth, and with Brad Parscale and Tyler Bowyer and all of them. Right. And I know that Terrell in the state of Utah, they just I forget which video I watched, who it was, but the land, and it has to do with drones and something else. I'll have to go back and relook at that. All these people are doing a lot of shady stuff right now. And it's not good. It's not good for us, man.
No.
All right. I pulled up, you're going to be able to lead this. This is the Sword of Truth article. You've read this, right? I have not read this.
I have. Yeah.
All right. Do you want to explain what it is?
Yep. So you all, Sword Truth, please give him a follow on X. He's got a great article. Pretty much what happened is last year, Tyler Bowyer covered up a scandal involving Matthew Martinez, his data queen.
Right here.
Right there. Covered it up. The scandal happened in Wisconsin. Apparently, Matthew was involved in assaulting a woman. Okay. essay.
Yep.
Essay. Which I find funny because I'm like, this guy is clearly gay.
Mm-hmm.
So he was involved in this scandal. Okay. Police reports, all that. You can look it up. The story was really killed. Tyler Bowyer took over the HR protocols.
Wait, what?
With dealing with Matthew. Handled all the HR protocols and everything. Okay. And I mean, this woman's statements, that's all in the article that Sword Truth produced. Okay.
Yep.
You can read it.
Yep.
And Tyler Bowyer covered it up. Tyler Bowyer swept it under the rug, and Matthew was actually let go from Turning Point, but not for long. Tyler Bowyer did the HR stuff, covered it up. Okay. And Sword Truth did this awesome article. It got attention, but not enough attention on a national level. Arizona, we all know about Matthew Martinez and the Tyler Bowyer scandal. I believe that Tyler Bowyer, and this is my opinion, knowing that Matthew Martinez is fake and gay, this was all blackmail. This was to keep Matthew in line. All right. And I also believe too, they got to follow their narrative. Okay, they're a Christian organization, and people were starting to come out about Matthew and being gay. And then my manager also had said to me, you know, she tried to hook me up with Matthew when I worked for Turning Point. And I said, I'm not here for that. But because of who I am, being open about it, I believe that they had to create this whole narrative as well. That is my opinion. But they hire these fake and gays for blackmail.
Yeah.
And this was the
that's
perfect opportunity.
That is a political strategy. That's always been.
Always been.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at Lindsey Graham.
Yeah. They're using this young man. I believe he's been groomed from the beginning. Yeah. And another TPAction former employee who's come out now, been on, you know, certain shows, had mentioned that, you know, all these young kids that are still at Turning Point, that are up in Turning Point headquarters, these 25-year-olds, they've been there from the beginning. So they've been groomed their whole way from high school all the way up to their mid-20s now. So I believe that this was a blackmail thing that happened with Matthew Martinez. And then after Tyler swept it under the rug, they brought Matthew back to Turning Point after they let him go.
Right. Yeah. Now you're ours. Now we rule you. You're going to do exactly what we say. Right. A couple things. Does Turning Point Action have its own HR department and its own HR head? Mm-hmm. Like how could Tyler just unanimously take over?
Yeah, Pam Farling is the HR director.
How did she let him do that?
They're all controlled.
Okay. All right.
Matt, they're all controlled. Okay. Pam Farling,
Who's
of them.
Mr. Carney?
Huh?
Who's Mr. Carney?
Mr. Carney?
It says a Turning Point Action response to the allegations. Mr. Carney provided the following statement on behalf of Turning Point Action. So this is after this article surfaced. Here, let me put it back up on the screen. After this article surfaced and was out, Turning Point Action's response was done by Mr. Carney, C-A-R-N-I, provided the following statement on behalf of Turning Point. And you guys can go read it, but I was just wondering if you've heard of him or know who he is, or he came later, maybe.
No.
Yeah. And then, so you're right. Chief Operating Officer Tyler Bowyer inappropriately takes over the HR investigation. What the heck, bro? Oh my gosh. Do you think Charlie found out about any of this?
Well, this came out last year before Charlie died.
Like right before he died?
When was the article written?
Let me go to the top. Where does it say it? I might have to go
all
to
the police reports are there too. I mean, he's posted the police reports.
Yeah, that's right here. It's right here.
So the police report should have a date.
It's listed as the offense was 6/20/24, or that's when the occurred between 6. Yeah, it occurred on 6/20/24.
Right.
And then date it was assigned was December 11th, 24. And then status date was January 16th, 25. So I mean, Charlie must have heard about it, maybe.
Yes. So they kept this very quiet until some people investigated, like Sword Truth.
Wow.
So, and brought it to light in 25. And here we are, here we are.
Wow, he did a really good, thorough job on this.
This guy's work is impeccable.
I'm gonna go back and watch this video beat with Tyler and Charlie. Rolling Stones covered it too. Wow. Okay. Nuts. Yeah, I mean, and that just goes to show you why people were warning you from the get. Why, because of Tyler Bowyer, not because of Charlie Kirk, but because of Tyler Bowyer, right? Yeah. And that the moment Charlie wouldn't have known. He's from Chicago. He's from Illinois. And he meets this guy that's like well connected and has power and leverage, and it's like, we can make it happen in Arizona. You got to move your headquarters to Arizona. And then what do you know? Who else is out there? His future, number one widow, and her mom and her companies and, Fort Huachuca, and everything that went wrong in Charlie's life was in Arizona.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sounds like my life.
Yeah.
It all went wrong since 2020, since I was arrested for the mask mandates in Sedona, put on the front page newspaper. I got involved with activism, got connected to all these political people. And it's just been, my life has just been interesting ever since. It's, but I'm just the ballot chaser, according to Turning Point.
I mean, that is their number one go-to in the beginning. Remember, they had someone on behalf of Turning Point go on the PBD podcast and say that Candace Owens was not even friends with Charlie anymore. Yeah. So they try to discredit how well connected were you? How far up were you? When were you even here? When did you stop working here? And they're going to downplay your involvement and, your high level involvement in like Turning Point and try to make you sound like just some, which is also funny though, because like you said in the beginning, they're the people doing all the heavy lifting for these elections. Right. And they let the cat out of the bag by saying like how they view these people is, that's just some freaking stupid ballot chaser. You're going to listen to that stupid ballot chaser? We hire stupid people to do that. Why would you listen to him? It's ridiculous. Right.
And all the people sitting at headquarters are stupid. They're the stupid ones.
Yeah. And so are we. We're all so stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yep. All right. Next. Do you want me to pull up the email about Robert Wallace?
The Robert Wallace email? Yeah, let's do it. I was going to say we could table it for next, because I definitely want to come back on next time, Matt.
That's fine.
I don't want to release too, you know what? I thought about it and I gave you like a freaking loaded gun today.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I got to remember too, we can't give them everything all at once.
Yeah.
But when I come back on, this involves a Turning Point regional manager for the Fountain Hills area who is also involved in a project of mine that was intellectual property was stolen from me. And it was heavily endorsed by Sheriff Joe Arpaio. I do want to talk about it, but I think we should bring that up next time, Matt. Well, I'll be coming back.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah,
for
sure. And then the other thing that I had is just the background on expulsion with Liz Harris, the Arizona Republican National Committee woman, that's who we've been talking about. Oh, and Jake Hoffman's connected to her too?
Yes.
No way.
Yeah. He's the RNC National Committee man.
He also had to be pardoned, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And Jake Hoffman, I want to say, is also involved in some way with Superfeed and Lori. I'd have to go back and refresh my memory. Yep. But I'm almost positive. He is.
Liz Harris wants to stay relevant, so she's going to work. And she was even talking bad about Jake Hoffman in one of the recordings that I have. I mean, and now it's just, the hypocrisy and the level of shadiness and lies that are coming from these people, it's ridiculous.
Right. And like if anything can be gleaned from what was Turning Point doing when Charlie was alive, like which senators, which congressmen and women was he supporting and endorsing? Like let's just look at Massey. All right.
Yep.
And look what they did right after Charlie is assassinated. They ensured that Massey, they at least did their part to make sure that Massey wouldn't get elected.
Right.
You know, not that them getting involved would have made it happen, but it definitely would have given a fighting chance against the 13 million that AIPAC gave his opponent, you know, and they couldn't even come out and give just a little endorsement. Like, yeah, Charlie loved Massey. And then they could have played like the freaking 30 clips that are him saying he's his favorite one, you know? No, they in fact come out, and Andrew Kolvet tells a stupid story. Once again, I'm so tired of these people that were close to Charlie and have all of these private conversations that aren't recorded. They are, and they could probably fake him even if they, you know, whatever, but they're telling us what Charlie said. Let me tell you what Charlie really felt about the Iran war. Let me tell you, and Frank Turek and Jack Hibbs do it. No. Charlie was not abandoning the pro-Israel cause. Well, excuse me. Why don't we just look at his own text messages? He said it himself. These Jewish donors play into all the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied like this, leaving me no cause but to leave the pro-Philly cause. Leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Philly cause. That's his own words. What are you talking about? I just can't with these people, man.
It's draining. It really is draining. And, you know, I want to say to the audience, you know, for those that are like Matt and myself and Candace and all this, like when you're investigating this stuff and you're on these phones and everything, Matt, you and I talked about this today before the show, is, you know, say some prayers for a lot of us, because you know what, the demonic stuff that comes across my phone and how I have to deal with it. You know, I had a really bad migraine before the show tonight. My head still hurts.
Yep.
And it's the nasty, the negativity, the demonic crap that's coming through. And I'm telling you, it is a spiritual battle out there.
It is.
And it's not for your average American and people watching right now, but people like Matt, myself, and Candace, and everybody, Stu Peters, all of us. It takes a toll on you. You know, I almost tonight, Matt, I wanted to cancel the show because I was.
You did, and I could see when you hopped on. I know you weren't doing good,
but we have to get through it.
Yeah,
and I'm kind of glad that we're going to be able to talk about more of the stuff that I sent you today, because I will be coming back on.
Yeah.
I just need to learn to put things down in the phone, you know, and rest before I go on podcasts.
Yeah,
because I don't.
You got to take a little screen break for a while. Take a nap, rest your eyes, give your brain a break. And you know, Matt and myself, even before Matt came into the picture, Mitch Snow, Stu Peters, Candace Owens, and others. Mystic even said this, right? That before even anything happened, that like she was like, you know, there's going to be spiritual attack. There's going to be demonic attack. And, you know, I don't know that I've talked about it personally with Matt, but this channel and myself went through our own version of that. And I'm not going to get into specifics because I'm so glad it's over and done. But it's a real thing. They want us to tap out. They want us to quit. And that's what somebody said. They're like, I'm going to make sure you quit and you never have a channel ever again. You know, and they want us to disengage because of they're willing to go so nasty to a level that we just won't go to. But it's sad that we have to put ourselves through engaging to a degree just to get the truth out there, so that true people that want to hear the truth can read both, they can look at both, and then the good people are going to make up their mind and they're going to see that we're telling the truth.
Yep. That's it right there. So I commend everybody that's doing this, and for the viewers too. Don't think just because you're not investigating or anything, you all are helping tremendously. You all have no idea. By showing up, by listening, by reposting things on my X, on Matt's X, you all are doing a lot of the legwork.
Yep.
So pat yourselves on the back because you are part of this. And we can't do this without you all. You just can't.
It's 100% a team effort because like Matt and I can do a video, I can film it and post it, right? But if no one watches it and no one likes it, no one subscribes, no one shares it, nothing happens, right? And so we put out information, we put out content that we hope resonates with the public, and that we hope that the marketplace of ideas looks at and goes, that's valuable, and that they want it out. And when that happens, that's how this is a team effort. We're doing this part of it. You guys are doing your part too, which helps it get to more people, and we're waking more people up. 100% group effort, 100%.
Yeah. Matt, I sent you something on X via DM.
Okay, let me pull it up.
I think it's important to play this clip for people just to show the level of how people how people are no longer taking Turning Point serious.
Oh yeah, the college kid?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let me share it to the screen. Let me add it here. Here we go. Let me back it up.
You know what I'm sick and tired of? I'm sick and tired of this. So I got these back-to-back weeks, by the way, like back-to-back weeks. So let's read the first one. Dear friend, we are Charlie Kirk. That's the message thousands of Americans are carrying out, blah, blah, blah. And then it says, if you would like one of these wristbands, blah, 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 your gift would honor Charlie's legacy to fuel Turning Point USA's fight to protect the liberty of all our people. And then it gives you a thing to write a check and send money to them. So that's the first one. And then, dear Patriot, no one loved this nation, God, or the truth more than Charlie. This is Riley Gaines talking. So please return your signed pledge of support along with your most generous gift. Every dollar will help support our unprecedented growth and continue our campus tours, blah, blah, blah. Charlie gave everything he had to save our country, and we will too, blah, blah, blah. And then it gives you a thing to send money to them. So this is, by the way, I still have this up. I got that at the funeral. Like, I still wear this every day. So it's not about like Charlie and stuff. This is about this organization wanting more money from college students, of all people too, to fund what they're doing, their train wreck, basically what they're doing. Because no one likes Erika, bro. Whether you think she had a foreknowledge or not, just surface level, no one likes her. She's not likable. She's not furthering Charlie's mission. She's extremely suspicious, and she's not a likable person. So the fact that in the AI video, they used AI to say, oh, I appoint my wife to the turning point if anything happened to me. Totally AI. So the fact that they want money from us still after the millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars they made, especially right after his death, about Erika bragging about hat orders and stuff. It's just like, so Blake or Andrew or Erika, whoever sees this, I don't want these anymore, bro. Stop sending these to me. Back-to-back weeks, by the way. So, yeah, I quit for a reason, and it's because they're scammers. They want our money after all of this. So how about some transparency? How about all the videos he said, oh, we have so much pre-recorded stuff. We're so excited to show this stuff at Charlie. What about that, Erika? What about that stuff that you said on the podcast days after you got assassinated, after you were accepting being appointed CEO of a multi-million-dollar company? How about that? But we don't want. You guys don't want to talk about that. You don't want to talk about Tyler Robinson and the connections and keeping him quiet. You don't want to talk about all this stuff. So I'm disgusted, honestly. This isn't some like, oh my gosh, Mason, you're like complaining about. No. I'm disgusted to my stomach because I stand for that. I stand for this. I stand for Charlie's mission, and these people make me sick. Andrew Kolvet, Blake Neff, Erika Kirk, Jack Posobiec, you all make me sick to my stomach.
Hands down.
That Gen Zer right there, you can't get anything past him. He's not stupid.
Nope.
None of the Gen Zers are taking these people serious anymore. None of the millennials in my generation are taking them serious anymore. Okay, we all know who's taking them serious. And I'm not going to mention that because I know people get some people get bent out of shape about about me saying certain things about an age group, but Matt, there's a second post that I want to lead the viewers with, and you don't mind at the 2-hour mark if I
no, you're good.
off.
Yeah, no, I had a feeling that you might just want to tap out a little earlier than last time. And last time was 3 hours. We don't ever have to only 2-3 hours. Like like you're good as soon. Did you say you sent it to me or it's on?
Yeah, it's in that post. It's a threaded post, so below it should be.
Okay, I got to click back on it. Hold on. All right, so it's a threaded post. Let me hold on. He's going to start talking again. Let me pause it. Is it the one with the email?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let me click on that.
Let me explain that.
Do you want me to actually pull up the email?
You can pull up the post and then the emails if you want to.
All right.
So these, I'll tell the viewers, these emails, a whistleblower sent this to me in December, and all the names are redacted. The sender, the receivers, that way Turning Point can't go back and see who this was. Pretty much, this is in December, right around the time Mitch Snow came out.
Yes.
Or before it. So it's dated December 11th. I can't remember when Mitch came out in December.
It was right around there. And then the meeting with Erika and Candace happened right around here because then she goes to AmFest on the 18th, 19th, 20th.
Yes. So this was sent in from a whistleblower, and pretty much what they explained to me was like, yeah, I'm done here. Like no one's like I'm getting pushback in my emails from all these voters, and pretty much no one's taking TPUSA or TPAction serious.
Yeah.
So if you want to read the email, Matt, I can't see it from all the way here.
Yeah. Not really up for joining an evil Philly before America, a demonic cult. You really should find another job because this place will not look good on a resume. That's the first one. And okay, this one, hold on. I gotta get really close because it's really small. It says, from Turning Point Action, I cover the Glendale area. Thank you for signing up to get involved with us. I host a ton of fun. Wait, maybe if I click on it, will it get bigger? No, that's as big as it gets. The bottom says, Charlie is gone and Turning Point is run by liars and incompetence, greed and conspirators. Email a Zionist. And then this one says, hi, this is from Turning Point Action. Hello, please unsubscribe me from your mailing list. I can no longer support any Turning Point USA entity. And yeah, now, and that's the photos.
Yeah,
I didn't know Dwight from The Office was Tyler's friend over here. I'm kidding. It looks like Dwight over here, but
so
this is Martinez, and this is
that's Matthew Martinez, and then that's Tyler Bowyer. When Tyler Bowyer was a little bit heavier, and he lost a lot of weight before Charlie passed.
Wait, quick question. Who's this guy right here?
Which one?
This guy.
I do not know. The only two I know is Matthew Martinez and Tyler Bowyer. But yeah, those are your Lavender Boys, everybody. And they're listening to George. Well, their background music is George Strait, Here for a Good Time.
The reason why I asked that guy that when I Googled Tyler Farnsworth, a dude, like another photo of another Tyler pulled up that looked just like that guy, which was weird. I was like, what's this guy? Yeah, they all look a little lavender to me. So, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, man. It is. Wait, before you sign off, did you have anything else you want to cover tonight?
No, I think that was it. You know, I think we gave, the Liz Harris stuff in the audio recordings in the beginning. I mean, that's pretty heavy for everybody to digest.
Yep.
I do want to talk, you know, when we come back and my hat's off to Sheriff Joe Arpaio.
Yes.
He's a wonderful man, and what he did for me was amazing. And what Robert Wallace did, who's running for Senate in the Fountain Hills district area. Okay. He's running for Senate against Senator John Kavanaugh. He's being exposed heavily. Robert Wallace is a snake. He's also the host of Gays Against Groomers.
Yep.
Okay. He's part of Gays Against Groomers, and he's the host of their podcast as well. All right. And he is a regional manager for TPAction for the Fountain Hills area. And I will dig deeper into that on the next show.
Okay.
For sure. Okay. Because what he has done, this is who Turning Point is now recruiting, is people like him.
Yep.
So we'll blow it open on the next show for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'll let you hop off. Everyone stay here. We're going to be looking at the Jack Hibbs, Frank Turek video right now because I have time and I'm not letting anyone else do this first because these two guys deserve to get told for who they really are. All right. Let me pull Matt out of here. All right. Let's get into it. Let me pull this up. All right. Boom. All right. So if you guys haven't done so already, please do me a favor and hit the like and subscribe. It is the best way you can help support this channel. Thank you very much. I'm glad that Matt spoke up and is going to take a rest early because I didn't want to wait till tomorrow to do this video. Obviously, Candace broke a little bit of this video tonight on her show. There's a whole lot here. There's a whole lot of discrepancies with the official narrative that not only Frank Turek has told from the beginning, like 5 different ways on Megyn Kelly, and when he went on the podcast with Andrew Kolvet and them. We're going to look at it right now. Jack Hibbs actually enters into the fray now and is covering for his brother and is covering for Frank and is covering for Turning Point and other people too. In my opinion, they're both lying through their teeth and it's insane. So we're going to get into it right now. All right. Hopefully everyone has stayed around. Did I get to all the supers that were there earlier? Yes. All right. All right. Let's do it. Oh, this is where I stopped at. Let me write that down. And then we're going to start back at the beginning. All right. I don't want it to be the part with the music in the beginning. So, because we get into the whole thing right here.
So this is not only a cathartic moment for you and I that we've decided to make public here in this podcast, but the moments leading up to Charlie Kirk's assassination, I say martyrdom. You agree with that? Mm-hmm. I know. You and I haven't had a chance to talk. You've been so busy since that moment, and we both enjoyed a friendship with him. You hit the ground running to fill that gap in the void, and you've been doing an amazing job.
Okay, what Jack Hibbs is lying about right now is that after Charlie Kirk was assassinated, they floated Cabot Phillips and they floated a couple other people as to who would be doing the prove me wrongs and going to campus events. Of course, Frank isn't going to do any prove me wrong. He can't get up there and answer questions. Did you guys not see? So Frank has done the indoor nighttime events, and he's not doing what Charlie did. What he's doing is he's doing his apologetic spiel, right? Which is great. I mean, I just wish it wasn't him doing it, right? But the case for Christ, the case for Christianity, right? Like, if God exists, like, what is the case for a creative, intelligent design and God? And what is the case for if the resurrection is real and God exists, the Bible is real? And I'm on board with that. And I like that. I just wish it wasn't freaking Frank, because the moment it gets to the Q&As and students get up there and ask questions about Erika Kirk, about TPUSA, about him, he gets freaking defensive, angry, and yells at the college students. Never once did I ever see Charlie Kirk respond that way. So Jack Hibbs is, giving this glowing review for Frank, filling in Charlie's shoes. Nobody's filling Charlie's shoes. Okay, Blake Neff isn't. Jack Posobiec isn't. Andrew Kolvet isn't. Erika Kirk isn't. Frank Turk sure as heck not. Cabot Phillips sure as heck is not. None of them are. They're all cosplaying as freaking, an alternative to Charlie Kirk. And they're not even doing a good job of it. Okay. Brett, what up, Brett? Matt, thanks for another great show. And Matt Tucciarone. Yeah. Have you revealed your theory on Charlie's unaliving yet? Oh, dang. When did you put this in? I just checked the super chats. Did you see? Are you behind? I don't know if you're behind. You love it when Matt gets mad. Thank you, Crystal. Well, I'll ask him and then I can message you, Brett. Okay. I don't know what Matt Tucciarone's theory on Charlie Kirk being assassinated is. He does not agree with the FedSlop narrative. He does not think that Charlie Kirk was assassinated by Tyler Robinson and a 30-06. I know that for a fact. He's probably, at least from what I remember from our conversations, is closer to something exploded either like on or just under Charlie Kirk's shirt, being the lapel. And like he's close with Mitch and Stu Peters. Mitch has a different theory. I think Mitch thinks there's possibly something that was lower on Charlie's body that exploded down by his waist and by his belly button, but like on the left, because when they carry Charlie Kirk off of the UVU grounds and his shirt gets pulled up, you see this like burn, abrasion, road rash, like rug burn kind of, abrasion down on his left side of his belly button. And Mitch thinks that there's something that was down there that must have exploded and caused that burn. And then that's why he thinks too, like the shirt came up from below. But I'll ask Matt specifically and we can talk about it. And I can message you once I get his answer for you. Okay. Sorry that you put that in after he left. Okay. But Jack Hibbs is, somebody left a comment, on one of my videos. I think must have been yesterday or the day before. And she was like, why do you hate Frank Turek? And then, no, she was good though. And then she asked a very, very good in-depth question. And then I responded very much in depth. In fact, let's see. Let me see. I think it's from the video from yesterday. Let's go here. Hold on. Because it's important so I can read what was wrote and my answer. Where's my videos? Let's go here. I think it was from yesterday. Comments. Okay. Let's see. Not unresponded, all of them. Let's see. No. Maybe it was a different video. All right. Anyways, I can just tell you my response because I remember what I wrote because I have it all locked up in the noggin. Frank Turek has lied multiple times. Okay. He has changed his story, even though Candace did say he's one of the only few that has kept the same story. Roughly. His story has changed, right? He said that when him and Charlie were approaching UVU, they were in the van together, the SUV, and Frank and him were looking at drone footage of the event, and Frank turned to Charlie and said, I don't like all the roofs, Charlie. There's a lot of people. I don't like it, man. There's a lot of roofs. A lot can go wrong here. I don't like it, Charlie. I don't like it. And supposedly Charlie was like, don't worry, dude. Nothing to worry about. I got Dan Flood and Brian Harple. We're good to go. Only to find out later, Brian Harple went on the Sean Ryan and the Gary Melton podcast and said, no, there were no drones. We were denied drones, right? No TPUSA drones were in the air that day. Well, that's not true. Okay, because Frank didn't recant, right? until later, but we have the Wolves in Finance cease and desist letter, right? Where they admitted, yeah, there were drones. There were drones. The media team had drones. So the UVU University, UVU, approved drones for the media team, but not for the security team. Make that make sense. I'll wait. Don't worry. It won't happen because it doesn't make sense. And what do you know? Who is that? Who's like up there on the media team? Who is it? Mikey McCoy. Mikey McCoy. Yeah. Sure is. So I believe, and then later, when that wasn't good for Frank anymore, he changed his story to, oh, wait. I just thought it was a drone because it was an aerial photo, a video from above. But did you know that there was a catwalk up there above the Hall of Flags with people on it? No, there was a security team member and a cop from UVU campus police. And it was designated a temporary, no trespass, criminal trespass zone. And it had caution tape on both ends. And there were students way down there. Students, no one on TPUSA. No media team was over there. Okay. And not over there either. No. You don't mistake someone calling you on a phone, live streaming, like doing, FaceTime, or you don't mistake someone recording a video and sending you a video through a text message. That's not the same thing. And furthermore, the way drones move and the way people do are not the same. And so I think his original response was correct. And I think TPUSA's lawyers proved that when they said that the media team, because it would have been like the media team sending him footage because there was no drone footage from the security team. So I don't like Frank because he lied about giving CPR. He lied that I saw his eyes. They were doll eyes. Charlie was dead the moment the explosion happened. The surgeon said he could have been assassinated in the hospital and it still wouldn't have mattered. We couldn't have saved him. He was absent with the body, present with Christ. He didn't feel any pain. You're going to hear them say it again. He didn't suffer at all. They're not medical professionals, but they're going to tell you they know that. These two people, and here's what's the most disgusting thing. They are leveraging their societal respect and trust as pastors, okay? We all know within the Christian community, for the most part, yeah, there's bad pastors, but for the most part, pastors hold within the Christian, Protestant, and priests within the Catholic Christianity, denomination, part of Christianity, they hold a unique position that what they say, you pretty much take it to the bank, that they're not lying. They're not manipulative. They're being honest. They're godly men. They're speaking on behalf of God sometimes, right? So when they say something, don't you dare question them. Why would they lie? He's a pastor. He's an apologetics dude. Don't question him. And so they know when they say this, the majority of the congregants in their congregation and people that are watching their show are going to believe them. They know that. And they're disgusting. Let me get to this. I feel like Charlie Kirk was going to fake his own D with something on waist area, and Philly found out and made sure to beat him to it and use the mic to take him out. I've actually heard that, not the part on the waist part, but someone did, I forget who it was, that was like, both could be true. Somebody, I don't know who it was, were like, both could be true, that Charlie was going to attempt to fake his own, unaliving to avoid actually being legitimately assassinated and to, escape, Philly and the Zionists and neocons and all that. And then all the wrong people found out and beat him to it. I guess the only thing that's hard for me about that is that he would fake his own death, because what that would mean, and we can go into that another time, but I definitely I guess we can go into it now, but I think his character, I don't think he would try to do that. Him and his wife and his kids would never live a normal life after that. He could never go anywhere in public. I mean, he could live in a third world country and go in public, right? He could undergo facial reconstructive surgeries and change his appearance, but he would never get to be Charlie Kirk in public ever again. He could never help save the country. He could never evangelize to another unsaved person as Charlie Kirk. He could do it as Pablo in Mexico or in Puerto Rico or Costa Rica or Africa or South America. But I mean, he would all but forsake everything. I mean, except he would get to be with his kids. And I guess, that is a driving factor in a father's decision. Like, do I want to be around my kids or am I going to let them take me out? And at this point, like, even we're all speculating because the official Feds Up narrative doesn't answer a lot of issues with Philly, what was going on in Turning Point, the people around him. There's all but a stranglehold on actual facts and evidence to come out other than what they let out or what Candace finds or Barron finds or other people find. And so we are forced to speculate a lot based on the evidence that we have. And that's including the video evidence that probably would never have been released if it wasn't for a few people that got certain videos out to the public. But I think in that video that we do see, Charlie did not survive. So that's my opinion, okay? But yeah, I mean, I guess it's possible that he might have tried to do that. I don't think that Charlie would have made that decision, but it's possible for sure. All right, let's continue with these freaking mocking pastors.
And I went the other way. So many people were talking about Charlie and everybody was his friend and longtime buddy and everybody was his pastor. And I just...
Guess who they're talking about right there? There are so many gold mines in here. Guess who they never mention once by name? Guess. They never mention Rob McCoy's name. They're going to mention all the people that were ministering, counseling, mentoring, meeting with Charlie and pouring into his life. Guess who they never mention? Rob freaking McCoy. That's weird. Why did Jack Hibbs just say in the immediate aftermath of the assassination, so many people were kind of capitalizing on having known Charlie? Oh, I was Charlie's pastor. I was Charlie's friend. That's what Jack Hibbs is talking about. He's talking about Rob McCoy. And he said, I didn't want to do that. So I stayed silent. I stayed back. I didn't say how well I knew Charlie, how long I knew him, how often he called me or texted me, or what he asked me to do with him or for him. He said I stayed silent because he saw people out there saying, I'm Charlie's closest friend. I'm Charlie's pastor. He's freaking talking about Rob McCoy. That's nuts, because there was only one pastor after the assassination that was ever called Charlie's pastor. Freaking Rob McCoy. By Rob McCoy, by the way.
Just kind of stepped back in the sense of just watching things play out, but trying to honor, a friend of a young man in the faith, where what comes to my mind, Frank, is not that I'm a Paul or that you are a Paul, but Charlie would have looked at us like a Paul, him being the Timothy. And he was such a precious student of the word. But let's talk.
The amazing thing that day, that the last picture that I took with Charlie, your brother was between us. Because when we got to UVU and got out of the SUV, he was there.
Yeah.
They're talking about Butch Hibbs, also known, oh my gosh, they're going to say his name in a little bit. His real first name it starts with a B, but it's not Butch. what's really interesting is Jack outs him in a little bit that Butch Hibbs messages Jack the night before, not in advance, the night before, and says, can you get me there? Can you help me get close and get pictures and get next to Charlie? Didn't some of us think that it's possible that Butch Hibbs flew from Utah to Tennessee to pick up a shape charge road mic explosive, maybe? And that the night before he messages his brother, Jack Hibbs, no forewarning before that, no in advance, the night before, and says, I need to be there. I want to get pictures. I want to get next to Charlie. And Jack makes it happen. That's freaking nuts.
Charlie took pictures with all the TPUSA kids that were lined up. And then your brother was there, and he goes, I'm Jack Hibbs' brother.
That's why they wanted to throw him out.
That's right. You call him the Mountain Man.
Yeah.
What's his name again?
Butch.
Butch.
I mean, Butch is his nickname.
Butch. Yeah, but that's not his real. What's his real name?
Burton.
Burton. Okay.
Burton.
Yeah. And so he introduced himself, and the last picture, formal picture, that probably Charlie took was with him and me.
Here's the backstory to that.
Uh-huh.
So my brother's lived in Utah for years, and we have to make sure that this doesn't get out, but he looks like a mountain man, and he's all over the terrain.
I'm going to give you the picture. You can put it in.
You know, some people would say that he is a covert military operative for the CIA and in conjunction with the Mossad. He loves the mountains. So he had months to reach out to me to say, hey, can you give me a chance to meet Charlie and to get a decent seat?
Mm-hmm.
But no, he calls me the night before.
Oh, yeah.
And he says, hey, can you? And I said, well, I mean, I'll give Charlie a call, but it's kind of late, you know, and all that stuff. And I'm thinking, so I honestly reached out to Charlie. I said, Charlie, listen, my brother lives nearby. He wants to come see you. I know you got too much going on right now, but I was faithful to give you his request. God bless you tomorrow. And so the next thing I know, that's how I found out, is that he sent me that picture.
This picture right here. Right there. Right? And in this picture, in his pocket, there is a diameter, the same width, length, depth of the wireless Rode mic that eventually gets placed on Charlie's lapel right here. It looks the exact same size and everything. Okay? Yeah. That's the photo.
And my first thought was this. Wow, I got to thank Charlie for going above and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
And for you, Frank, to be there. Here's my brother sandwiched in between two rocks. And then so I went about my morning, not long, and I'm trying to remember the sequence of things. I either got the first call from you or from Mikey. It was one or the other. It was very, very close. I do.
Okay. Hey. Please stay around. There is so much in this episode that we've never heard before. Okay. In the call log that Candace showed of Mikey, remember, she asked in the meeting with Erika Kirk, can you show us Mikey McCoy's call log? We want to know who he called and when. They didn't give her the actual call log. They typed up the call log for her. At least that's what we ended up seeing. We never saw the actual physical call log of Mikey McCoy. We saw a typed up document, a recreation of the supposed call log. And I guess we have to just trust Justin Strife and Mikey McCoy and Erika Kirk that they're freaking telling us the truth. Newsflash, guess what's not in that document? The phone call to Jack Hibbs. It's not in there. Jack Hibbs is going to say right here, Mikey called Jack Hibbs right away. So either after he called his wife and then three-wayed Erika, after or before he called his dad, immediately when Mikey was still on campus, so within the first 15 minutes after the assassination, he's still on campus, he's still there, he's lingering. At some point, he calls Jack Hibbs. That's new information.
I believe you were the first one.
That was after we got to the hospital.
Okay, then I got the first call from Mikey.
Because I was in the emergency room after we got Charlie there.
I remember.
I called you.
I remember what you were saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mikey called, and he said, Jack, get everyone in the world praying.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much blood.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much. And he was beside himself, as you can.
So here's what's weird, guys. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to pause it often because they just lie so much. It's just unreal. Mikey called Jack Hibbs while Mikey was still at campus. Mikey didn't get in the car. Mikey didn't get to see all the blood in the car. Mikey wasn't there when they took him out of the car and unloaded him into the operating room. So all the blood that Mikey would have seen was what we saw in the grass, which wasn't a lot. It was a lot for too much of any blood of Charlie Kirk's is too much blood, okay? But there wasn't like this. There's just so much blood, Jack. That's a lie. Mikey's still at UVU when he calls Jack. It's freaking nuts.
Imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Man, in that moment when I got that, I didn't believe it.
Then I FaceTimed you. We were talking.
You
saw I had blood on me.
Oh, you got to say that.
So my brother calls and he can't talk. He said, Charlie's been shot. Now listen, I have a relative whose name's Charlie, and he's very involved in politics, and he's all over the United States. And I thought it was Charlie.
We also need to go back through the Adam Bartholomew Life is Driving video and any other videos that are people at UVU. I know that Butch is captured in a couple videos in the background of the Life is Driving, and he's interviewing other people. But to see if we could find out if Butch was on the phone at any point and if he was talking to Jack Hibbs and what was he saying, that would be a good thing to look into, because Jack says right here that Butch called him. Butch was still there at UVU, and we know that he was still there. We see him on the Life is Driving video, but supposedly called Jack and started telling him stuff.
Cousin Charlie got shot.
Mm.
And I actually said, what do you do now? What did he do now?
Mm.
And he said, Charlie Kirk got shot. And I said, what? And he just broke down. I actually hung up on him and I started making calls. Your call came in,
mm-hmm.
which was a FaceTime call.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you had blood on you.
All right, let's go over that real quick, okay? I can't bring up the video here on YouTube, but it's on X. Frank Turek doesn't touch Charlie at UVU, okay? Frank Turek climbs into the back of the SUV, the back end, and then he climbs over the back bucket seat, okay? Charlie is pulled in through the passenger rear door by Brian Harple and Rick Cutler, and his head is dragged across, and his head is with Rick Cutler behind the driver, and his feet are with Brian Harple behind the passenger in those two captain chairs in the back seat that Candace shared, I think yesterday or today. Frank Turek is in the back seat. based on Brian Harpole's story alone. Rick Cutler isn't really touching Charlie. Rick Cutler is holding on to Brian. Brian is hanging out the door, okay, going 90 miles an hour. We're cutting our own traffic lights. We're doing it all. We're doing the most. You are doing the most, my dude, while actually doing nothing at the same time. Because there's no way you are out the door, your butt's out the door, and you can reach Charlie's neck across the way. Charlie was 6'4", 6'5". Brian Harpole is the one that's just, remember this? He's like kneading like a cat. He's like, I'm just packing it in. I'm just 36 yards or 36 feet of gauze. I just packed it in there. I was just packing it in there. Frank Turek on his own and at different interviews is like, yeah, no one was giving CPR. I was like, we got to give CPR. We should give CPR, guys. We should do CPR. So we started doing CPR. Yeah. So the combat trained, professionals, right? Combat medic trained, never thought, but the apologetics dude in the back was like, why aren't we doing CPR? We got to do CPR. And they were like, oh my gosh, I never thought of that. We should do that. Frank didn't touch Charlie. Okay. I guess it's possible he helped him out of the car, but I don't think he did. Frank was there for moral support. Brian Harpole was like, dude, I'm not going to deny a parent. Frank Turek said it so many times. He saw Charlie as a son. I guess the better question would have been, Brian, did Charlie ever say he saw Frank as a dad? No. Just like he never called Rob McCoy's freaking pastor. All right. Just like he never said, I want Erika Kirk to be CEO of Turning Point. All right. Just like Charlie never said that he wasn't supporting Massey and he was mad at Massey. Just like Charlie Kirk never had a falling out with Candace Owens. These people put words in Charlie's mouth. Post. When did all this blood get on his shirt? The men that carried Charlie into the SUV are the people responsible for his life, not Frank. Brian let him get in the car because he was like a dad to Charlie. Whatever. No, he wasn't. They are not going to let Frank touch Charlie. Sorry, they're not. They don't even need his help. They have Dan Flood, Rick Cutler, Brian Harpole, and the dude driving. I forget his name. Justin or something like that. 4 really big prior law enforcement dudes. They don't need little Frank Turek to help. Okay. So when did all this blood get on Frank? Maybe. I'm just speculating here. Maybe after they pulled Charlie out of the car, Frank rubs his white t-shirt up against the blood of the seat. We wondered why a lot of the blood is missing from the seat. I mean, I know they probably scrubbed the car down right before those photos were taken and they moved stuff around and they took stuff out. But when did the blood get on his white Freedom shirt or he was wearing a polo shirt, I think that day. Ever since then, he wears a white, not in this interview. What do you know? He retired the Freedom shirt finally. He has more than one shirt. We found out he has a blue polo shirt. He didn't have blood all over him, dude. Just like Brian Harpole didn't have blood in his mouth. Okay. Didn't have blood on his face. They didn't look like Braveheart walking into the OR room. That's another freaking fabrication that they've made up. No, we scared the ER staff. These staff that literally deal with gunshot wounds and stab wounds and cars, motorcycle accidents, car accidents. They deal with it every day. Surgeons and ER and OR and ICU nurses don't get squeamish. My mom was an RN, worked in these different, they're not squeamish with blood. Okay. They've seen it before. They didn't come in and see Frank Turek and Brian Harpole and Rick Cutler and they had blood all over them. And they were like, oh, we've never seen this before. Remember, that's what Brian Harpole would lead you to believe. They walked in and felt bad. We felt so bad for the staff. We walked in there just covered in blood from head to toe. Lie.
Yeah, that's still
Oh, is it?
I haven't followed. I haven't just thought. I don't even know if I've meditated on all of that. But
It's weird. You're really close with Charlie, and you haven't meditated on the day that he was assassinated, and supposedly you seeing Charlie's blood all over your supposed good friend. Look at his little chicken arms. This guy didn't help Charlie get out of the car. Okay, look at his little chicken arms. He did not help get Charlie out of the car.
and then, of course, I went because it was online everywhere. I saw the whole thing.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
But you right away got a prayer chain going, and then that happened at about 12:30 Utah time. And so that's within 6 hours you were preaching about it.
That's right. That's right.
That's weird, right? So within 6 hours, he's preaching about something that he doesn't even know what happened yet. Okay. We didn't know 6 hours after. How did Charlie die? We knew that he was dead. We didn't know anything. We hadn't even made it to the 33-hour magic number yet. Okay. So we didn't even know about Tyler fricking James Robinson yet. Crazy leftist, trans liberal gay furry friend. We didn't know any of that. 30-06, Losi Center roof. We didn't know none of that. And Jack Hibbs gets up and gives a sermon on it. What are you going to say? Just Charlie was assassinated? By who? What are you going to speak about for an hour and a half? You're just going to make stuff up? I'll find that. We'll talk about it next time. We'll find that sermon.
Right, and that message that night was well done.
Oh, was it?
Charlie Kirk.
Says the guy that gave
And you know, as horrific as that martyrdom was, that assassination was.
Yeah.
We know that Charlie didn't feel a thing.
No.
He went from doing what he loved, the absolute.
Did you guys know? I didn't know. Jack Hibbs went to medical school. So did Brian Harple. So did Frank Turek. Holy smokes, Frank Turek is telling these guys, you got to do CPR. You're not doing it right. That's not how you do it. I do apologetics, but I'm telling you how to do CPR. You got to save this dude's life. Brian Harple is maybe combat medic trained, but he gets into the OR and he's like, push drugs. You need to do this. He's telling the freaking OR surgeon, the doctors and the nurses there. He's telling them what to do. You need to get this. You need to get this. You need to do this. Now Jack Hibbs is giving his medical professional opinion that Charlie didn't feel a thing and that he knows that for a fact. Thanks. I didn't know pastors got medical licenses too.
Most to entering glory painlessly, instantly.
Oh, that's okay.
And I think of the mercy of God and the goodness of God in that.
You know what's sad?
But the young man.
You know what's really sad? This is hard for me. You want to know why? I used to go to that dude's church. I used to look up to that dude, Jack Hibbs. I'm not kidding. A long time ago, like 2014, 15, 16, when we lived in like San Dimas, Pasadena area, San Bernardino area. And I used to watch when I was in Bible college. That's my other degree that's behind my chair. That's Pepperdine. But I used to watch Frank Turek. I used to do apologetics. I loved it. I loved debating. I loved proving my faith. I used to look up to both of these guys. That's actually the truth. It's hard for me to watch these two do everything that they've done now, because it's in complete contradiction to everything I ever thought about them.
We were talking before going on camera right now how there was a transformative shift in Charlie's life regarding faith. I don't mean he came to faith.
He came to faith in the 5th grade.
Yeah. What I mean is there was a transformation in him seeing that Christianity is viable in any sphere, in any culture, at all times.
When did that happen?
And Charlie, we had hours of elongated discussions over Jack, how do you biblically justify voter registration and voting? How do you do that? Everybody I talk to tells me that I need to talk to you guys because you guys, with Gina Gleason leading the spear on this, you guys have been doing this for decades. How do you do this? What's the deal? And he honestly was asking. You know this. He was always so teachable.
Right.
And Charlie, this is the reason why. These are the verses why. And instead of him saying, yeah, but that's one man's interpretation, Charlie said, I didn't know that. And you watched that. I think you said before camera, like 2019-ish?
2019-ish is probably when he really realized that a Christian should be a Christian 24/7, 365, 360 degrees, every area of life. Yeah. And he reached out to me in January of 2020.
All right, I'm going to pause right there. Let's go over the timeline, ladies and gentlemen. Who came into Charlie's life in 2018? Erika Kirk did. What was the premise? What was the understanding of the interview at Bill's or Bob's Burgers? She was being interviewed supposedly for the TPUSA faith component that hadn't really started yet. And that she was going to like lead the charge in that. Everyone around Charlie, all the mocking pastors, these two included, Rob McCoy, Frank Turek, Jack Hibbs, and then all the people that remain at TPUSA like Blake Neff, Andrew Kolvet, Mikey McCoy, they all came in the picture after Erika came in the picture. That's not a coincidence, ladies and gentlemen. It's just not. And then Frank said Charlie reached out to him in January 2020.
Saying he had been watching our videos and was blessed by them. Could we meet? And so we met that shortly thereafter. And he wanted me to mentor him in Christian apologetics. And as you know, Jack, it could be difficult to mentor someone smarter than you, but not in Charlie's case.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you guys something. And this is a fact. This isn't an opinion. This is a fact. Okay. When you retell a story, you retell it roughly the same, not exactly the same. You use a little bit different words. You don't say the same exact phrase or phrases every single time you tell the same exact story. You know what that's called when you do something like that? It's called a script. It's called he's memorized these phrases and he repeats them when he talks about Charlie in the context of September 10th and Charlie Kirk's assassination. It's really hard to mentor someone that's smarter than you. The only thing that exceeded Charlie Kirk's intellect was his humility. I've memorized it because he said it that many times. And he says a couple other things that he says every single time he's been on camera talking about Charlie in the wake of the assassination. That is called a freaking script. That's not called him just talking about Charlie in that day. He could still talk about Charlie's intelligence. He could still talk about Charlie's humility. But to say the exact same words in the exact same order every single time, that is a script. He is acting. He's memorized lines, and now he's repeating them.
You know, the few things I didn't know, he wanted to know because the only thing that exceeded his intellect was his humility, right?
Remarkably so.
Yeah. And he had many mentors. You were a mentor. He had mentors everywhere.
He was smart. He had men pouring into his life.
Guess who they never mention? Rob frickin' McCoy.
And the great thing about Charlie, it's not that I'm not taking anything away from him. I'm doing the opposite. But you and I are both busy people.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie never came to us and said, please, pretty please, will you mentor me? Will you be my pal?
Mm-hmm.
Why you and I responded and so many people responded to him as mentors is that you could not walk away from his hunger and passion for truth.
Yeah. No, I told him several times, I've been waiting for somebody like you for 30 years.
His hunger. Oh, we're going to get into this in a second. So Charlie's hunger and passion for truth are what got him assassinated. His hunger and passion for truth about Jeffy Epi. His hunger and passion for truth about Philly, our greatest freaking ally. Hunger and passion for truth about Trump and the Iran war. I agree. He had a hunger and passion for truth. It's not the same thing that you're saying, though, because you're going to say that he was a diehard supporter of Philly to the end. You're a liar. You're a liar. But I do think his hunger and passion for truth is what got him assassinated. He wasn't willing to compromise like you two schmoes are. Oh, and Frank is about to say that he had been waiting for 30 years for someone like Charlie. No doubt. No doubt if you're an insider, former Intel, Navy officer, connections to different Intel individuals and agencies, and seemingly you're these pastors that were created by the, government, and you're out there. Now you and Greg Laurie and, Frank. So Jack Hibbs, Greg Laurie, and Frank Turek and James Cadiz are all out there telling us that it is our duty to defend and fight for Philly. We must. It is our Christian and American obligation to do this. And if we don't, we're going against the word of God. These guys are neocons. These two. That's not biblical. I don't care how you try to sell it. That's not. And that's not America first either. It's disgusting.
When I went to seminary 30 something years ago, I said, where is the guy out there who is so connected in the secular world, but will never compromise on the gospel and will ensure that the two go together, that he wants to influence the secular world with the gospel politically, culturally, morally, so
politically. What was it that Tyler Bowyer said? He saw Charlie and he goes, I can hitch my wagon to him. Frank did the same thing. But it wasn't for money. Maybe money is a component. He's probably made a lot of money after the assassination, or just being close to Charlie. Frank Turek was well known within the Christian community before Charlie. He's pretty well known now outside the Christian community. He saw Charlie as someone that was politically connected, that was wanting to push Christian values into the secular world, which is not a bad thing. I'm not discounting that. But it shows that Frank was looking for someone that Frank could use for something that Frank wanted to do, but Frank couldn't do on his own. Just like Tyler Bowyer, just like Rob McCoy, just like Mikey McCoy, Andrew Kolvet, Blake Neff, Erika Kirk. All of these people saw Charlie for what he could do for them, not what they could do for him. Take JFK. Ask not what you could do for what your country could do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. Ask not what Charlie can do for you. Ask what you could do for Charlie. None of these people did. None of these people are doing that. They all saw Charlie as someone that could help them do what they wanted, accomplish their goals.
Actually, he wanted to do that. And you see Christians in politics all the time, and they mention God in a kind of an ambiguous way. They don't, they kind of sidestep Jesus. They sidestep the gospel.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Charlie was just
exactly
like a blowtorch.
Yeah,
right on it.
Exactly.
And he's going to get rewards ultimately for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
absolutely.
And I know right now he senses, wow, for 31 years. In fact, I said this at I don't know if it was at the memorial or at AmFest. I said it was tragic that Charlie was taken from us after 31 years, but he accomplished more in 31 years than any 10,000 people I know who have lived for 80.
Exactly correct.
It's equally tragic, perhaps more so, to live 80 years and do nothing for the Lord.
No, I don't agree. It's not equally tragic to die at 80 years of an old age, but you didn't do a lot for God, but do a tremendous amount for God, but be brutally assassinated in your prime when you had so much more to give your country, your fellow men, your fellow Christians, your children. No, I'm sorry, bro. It's not equally as tragic.
I had a similar thought, and I framed it this way in my own head. There are people who can say that they've been a Christian for, say, 60 years, but they've got about 1 year experience that repeats about every year. It's the same thing. They don't grow beyond the 1 year, but they've been a Christian for 60 years. And hey, Paul said to the Corinthians, "You're going to make it in. You're going to make it in." And then there are those who, like Charlie, lived a short period of time, but they put down about maybe 100 years of influence, of experience in 31 years.
I remember you said something right after this happened, Jack. I've never forgotten it. You said if Charlie lived 250 years ago, he'd be normal. Do you remember saying that?
Of course I do. Yes, I do.
Explain that.
Yeah. So Charlie's understanding of what you just articulated about the gospel not being parsed out or segregated to areas of life, but everywhere. You and I have read our founding fathers. In fact, I'm sometimes more at home reading my founding fathers' private papers because I feel like I know them. And they're dead, so they can't change their mind. They can't go woke. And they don't have a podcast, so that's really great. So when you looked at Charlie, in my mind, I dropped him into maybe, I don't know, 1770, 1774, 76, 1780, 80.
My beautiful wife just came to fill up my water for me. That's why I was smiling. Thank you, wifey. Sorry.
9. Charlie fit perfectly. He would have been John Adams and him would have been best of friends. They were so much alike that way. Normal.
And Adams knew that our government was made for our Constitution was made for only religious and moral people. It is inadequate. Wholly inadequate.
Wholly inadequate for the governance of any other.
Yeah.
Completely true.
And Charlie knew that.
Yeah, he knew that.
Charlie wanted to spread the gospel and save his country.
Yeah. You know, we have a mutual friend. Gosh, I'm kind of having a freak out right now. So let's kind of exaggerate this in a sanctified form. Here's Charlie Kirk. And by the workings of God, there are people that are coming into Charlie's life by whatever means. It happened. And you can name them.
Yeah, no, people didn't come in by whatever means, Brosif. It looks like all of you came into Charlie's life through Tyler Bowyer and then Erika, because Tyler brought her in, and then all of these people came in after Erika. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like.
But my lane is so narrow, but in that lane, there's the man Frank Turek that I've known for so long and good friend, and so Charlie winds up, somehow you guys wind up connecting. And then either you or I or somebody said, Charlie, you got to talk to Bill Federer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, wait.
What?
It just keeps expanding.
It's Turek, it's Federer, it's Prager, it's all of these people pouring into this man.
That's right.
And that's just the hand of God. And so you said that. So
I don't think time is going to age that well. I know Charlie did like Prager. I don't. He's freaking Zionist, like as big as they come. As big as they come. I don't like Prager at all. And this is why I think that Charlie was still probably in dispensationalist, Schofield Bible theology, right? That it was our duty as Christian Americans to support Philly no matter what, and to help them rebuild the third temple and all of the freaking propaganda that they spew. I think all these men that came into Charlie's life all brought other men. That's what he's saying. Like, then they told him Federer, then they, Prager, and like all of these guys are bringing all these other guys. Rob McCoy comes in, they're all just infiltrating and surrounding Charlie.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's a perfect example that if we're open and willing to learn, because remember, Charlie would say, learn something new every day. Just learn something new every day.
The wise listen, he would say.
Oh, yeah.
Those are just
paraphrased right out of Proverbs.
Just Proverbs, yeah.
But are you comfortable enough to share some of the, you guys walked a lot.
Yeah.
Are you okay to
sure.
make that public?
Yeah.
Okay, there's some low parts, right? We just passed the low part. Now we're going to get an insight as to the night before. Well, actually, we're going to get Monday night, Tuesday night. He's going to fill us in on things we didn't know before. So buckle up.
He, in the summer of 2025.
Oh, by the way, too, just remember when I said earlier how he repeats the same things. If you've watched any of my stuff where I've covered Frank Turek, he's going to tell the story about Monday night, right? The 8th, Monday, the 8th of September. And that when they went walking, every time they went walking, were always accompanied by a 300-pound gorilla security guard. He just says the same exact things every single time he talks. It's just not normal. It's not natural.
Charlie wanted to get ready for the tour, and the first event
was Utah.
And so on 4 occasions, he and I got together in Phoenix we would just sit around and talk about issues he wanted to talk about, that he wanted to be better at answering questions on campus.
Oh, what do you know? He wants to get better at learning how to support Philly. And his biggest issue was he wanted to tell everyone that, radical Islam was like the worst thing in America.
And sometimes it would be just him and me. Sometimes it'd be me, him, Mikey, Blake Neff, Danny Phillip. These are people in TPUSA. Yeah. And the last event we had was, he went out to Japan. I don't know if you remember this. He went to Japan and Korea.
Absolutely.
Right, like in the beginning of September.
Set up.
And we were together in the beginning of August for the 3rd event. And he said, hey, Frank, first event is September 10th. And I'm going to be in Japan and Korea.
Like on the 9th.
Yeah. Just a couple days before. He said, is there any chance you can come back to Phoenix? When I land on the 7th, then, 7th. The 8th and the 9th we could spend together. And then why don't you just come with me to the first event on the 10th? It's like, sure, we'll figure it out. I'll be there. So I was there, and it just so happens my mother-in-law lives in Scottsdale. And so I can bring Stephanie with me, and it'll
work great.
Yeah, it'll work out great. So we would get together during the day for a couple hours, 2-3 hours. And, he'd be working, I'd be working, and then we get together. And then after he and Erika put the kids down, he'd say, hey, let's go on a walk. And we do this every time I was in Phoenix. And the last walk we had was Monday night. The murder happened on Wednesday. And we probably walked for 90 minutes, always with a 300-pound bodyguard behind us, armed bodyguard.
There it is.
We'd walk around his neighborhood. And there are 3 things we talked about that night, Jack. We spent most of our time on. The first.
What's weird is, so he said we always walked around his neighborhood. Later, he's going to say they were walking laps on the roof of the condominium. It's not quite the same thing.
First was, of course, government and Islam.
Oh, yeah.
He's concerned about Islam coming and imposing Sharia law on us. And we all ought to be concerned about that, because that's the history of Islam.
Another name that goes in there, he reached out to me sometime before that, and I connected him with Jay Smith.
Jay Smith, yes. And apostate prophet, Ridvan Adamir, who I've become friendly with and had him on the show several times. So he had AP on, we call him apostate prophet. And Jay's amazing too. In any event, so we're talking about that. I talked a little bit with him about the Islamic dilemma. The Islamic dilemma. If you get a Muslim up there, you ought to ask the Muslim, why does the Quran say the Bible on one hand, yet On another hand, it says
kill him all.
It disagrees with the Bible.
Yeah.
It says Jesus didn't rise from the dead.
Jesus is the Word.
Yeah.
He had a beginning, and it's limited.
No, it's a dilemma they can't get out of, because they're two chapters right next to one another.
Yeah.
In Surah 5, verse 68, it says, "Oh, you people of the book, you have no ground to stand on, unless you stand on the Torah and the gospel." So it's saying to the Jews and Christians at the time, believe what the Bible says. Yet in the chapter before, in Surah 4, verse.
All right, hold on. He talks about this for a minute.
Muslims don't know how to get out of that. So Charlie and I talked about that quite a bit that night. The second thing he wanted to talk about was the resurrection. And how can we show in a succinct way during Q&A that the resurrection really occurred? And so we went through that.
Yes, I love it. And you've argued that wonderfully in your messages.
Sure. And there's really only two facts you need to show that Christianity is true, mere Christianity. Number one, God is marriage. The men were, the women were not.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm glad the men are moving in. We were doing laps on the top of his building talking about this.
Let's see, here we go. Hold on.
He was Christianity. Number one, God.
All right, so I passed it. I can't skip it because I forget that there's these little nuggets dropped in. I think I know that one of the reasons why Erika Kirk was brought in to Charlie's life was because in order for Charlie to promote a return to the nuclear family, if the stats are right, which I do believe they are, and if what Frank is about to say is true, which I believe it is, Charlie, and I know just from watching Charlie, one of the things that he wanted people to do was to get married. Christian people, Christian families needed to get married, stay married, and have a bunch of kids. Can't really say that if you're not married yourself and you don't have kids. But here's the other interesting stat. It's not that young men didn't want to get married. Young Christian men do want to get married. Young Christian women or young women aren't wanting to get married because they are being sold a bad bill of goods with liberal ideology in pursuit of career. And they're saying that men are bad, white men are bad, right? Well, it's going to be floated here in a minute that was Erika's role from the beginning. To legitimize Charlie in that, and that Erika is going to fulfill that like destiny, and that was her role and purpose. It's nuts. Wait till you hear it. Doesn't get easier the second time around.
Exist. Number two, Jesus rose from the dead. Yeah. If those two things are true, it's actually easy to show the Bible's the word of God.
The rest of it's downhill.
Yeah, it's downhill. It's easy. So we talked about that for a while. Then the last thing we talked about, Jack, and we were doing laps on the top of his building talking about this. He was really concerned that his generation was not embracing marriage. The men were, the women were not.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm glad the men are moving in marriage's direction.
Yeah.
But the women are not. And why are they going to listen to me?
Yeah.
And everybody out there.
So this podcast takes place in Chino Hills, California. This is Jack Hibbs' podcast. Jack Hibbs lives out in Chino. That's where his home church is. And I'm assuming this is either on his church campus. He has a massive campus. Okay.
Who is a woman talking about this is a career woman.
Yeah.
They could see the mild.
Which is weird because that's what Erika is. Erika is now a career woman. So in order for her to legitimize marriage again, she might need to get remarried. So let's all just buckle up for that. I wonder who they're going to float us as her potential future partner.
Contradiction.
Exactly.
So we didn't come up with a solution to that problem
Yes,
that
you
night.
did. Erika's the solution.
But ironically, it could be that Erika, once this trial is over and all this nonsense that's being talked about with conspiracy theories goes away, hopefully it will, she's going to be the one that women are going to look to and say, wow, look at how she has handled herself through all this.
How did she handle herself, Frank? Horribly. Did you not just watch that video of that college student? That's just one of millions that feel that way. Erika's not likable. Erika's not believable. Erika's a fake. She's a fraud. She's an imposter. She's an actor, a bad actor. She pretends to have human emotion when her face and her tear ducts don't even respond. She lies. She allows other people at TPUSA to lie about Charlie Kirk, about September 10th, about UVU, about Charlie, about what Charlie said, about what Charlie stood for, about what Charlie died for. No one's going to listen to Erika. And if they do, I pray for them. A much better godly Christian example is Candace, my wife, many others, anyone else but Erika. But that just shows this was one of the intended purposes of Erika Kirk being Charlie Kirk's wife. And now we're seeing it, and he's saying it, that she just wants the trial to be done. That's why she wants a speedy trial. Not because she doesn't want justice for Charlie. She doesn't want the truth. She doesn't want the right person that actually assassinated him to be convicted and charged and sentenced. She wants to put this behind her. She wants everyone to stop talking about that day, about what happened, about what didn't happen. She wants to move on so she can start pushing this return to marriage agenda for Christian women, which isn't bad in and of itself. It's a good thing. But for Erika to do it, and for Erika to do it this way, it is bad. It's all bad.
Grace and elegance. And all she wanted to do was take care of her children.
Oh, my.
And she's
right.
still taking care of her children.
Frank, no, she's not. All Charlie wanted her to do was take care of her children. She wanted to come to UVU. She wouldn't have been able to bring the kids. Charlie goes, no, your place, you're needed at home. Stay. And then 5 days after, no. 2 days after she assumes responsibility as CEO, didn't pray about it, didn't think about it, not really, didn't fast on it, didn't meditate on it, didn't seek counsel on it, unless you consider Stacey Sheridan counsel. I don't. She just took over immediately without a thought. What's going to happen to the kids? I talked about this the other day. They just lost their father forever. And the one parent that was at least there the majority of the time, probably had help a lot of the time, yes. But Erika was there. Now she's gone. They lost two parents that day. Erika works now, I mean, at least somewhat of what he worked, 300 days. He worked 325. No, she didn't want to just take care of the kids, Frank. No, that's not what she's doing, Frank. She's on the board of the Air Force Academy. She's going and giving speaking engagement after speaking engagement. She's doing book tours. She's doing guest appearances. She's flying here. She's flying there. She went to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. I just want to go home, and then doesn't go home. Goes to Michigan. She's going into the office 5 days after, talking about merch, talking about preparing for the memorial, and then after the memorial. She's not taking care of the kids, Frank. Nice try, dude. We're all watching the same freaking thing.
Even though she's doing what her husband wanted her to do.
Oh.
But stop.
Okay.
And it didn't dawn on me until after this happened, Jack. Charlie was talking about the three institutions that God established.
Oh,
He was talking about government.
government,
He was talking about
church, and
marriage.
marriage.
No. Yeah, government, church, and marriage. That's what
The
he was talking
three
about. The
sacred
family.
institutions found in the scripture.
He was such a strategic thing.
You guys are so bad. That was clearly a scripted thing. Jack goes, oh, yes, the three pillars, which they are. But that whole thing that just happened was all planned. It was fake.
Thinker that when we're having a conversation about the issues that he wants to get better at, he automatically goes to the big three.
I believe that's evidence of a sanctified heart and mind, meaning
I agree with that.
The Holy Spirit was welcomed to use him, and thus Charlie thought and talked the truth of Scripture.
And he knew something that you said many years ago, and that was, don't be 2/3 of a Christian.
Oh, yes.
Like Erika Kirk.
Don't be just about marriage and the church. I mean, that's important, family, church, obviously, but don't forget about government.
Yeah.
God established government.
Yeah.
And God put government in place to punish wrongdoers and protect innocent people from evil.
All right, maybe you should tell Erika it's time to go home and take care of her kids and not forsake that other pillar, which is family. Okay. And then we're talking about government and the administration of justice. Maybe you should tell her to stop getting in the way of justice for her husband's investigation and court proceedings.
If we don't do that, we are giving up on God's institution.
That's right.
So Charlie,
yep.
And that final night,
man,
that's what he was talking about, Jack. Man, that's what he was talking about. And let me add one other thing. And this, by the way, is all going to be in a book that we just wrote, doesn't come out till September, called The War on Reality.
Great.
Recovering truth in a world that celebrates lies. The first chapter is all about what we're talking about right now. It's the whole book's in honor of Charlie. Started.
What do you know? What do you know? They're going to make money off his death. They wrote a book. Frank Turk wrote a book. It's coming out in September, ladies and gentlemen. Pre-buy your book now. It's in honor of Charlie. Oh, it's a lot like what Erika's sending out those letters to college students. Give me your money in honor of Charlie so we can further his legacy. Buy this book in honor of Charlie so we can further his legacy. These people have no shame. Let him rest in peace. Stop making money off of Charlie. You're gross. You're gross. Christians. They're Christians. Give me a break. Dude.
Writing it before, the whole book shifted after the murder.
I bet.
I mentioned to you.
Well, you know.
Sorry.
No, I just want to complete the thought.
Oh, do it.
Because the next day,
Yeah.
so Monday night, we're out on a walk.
Yeah.
Next day,
Tuesday.
September 9th.
Yeah.
Charlie calls a meeting,
Here we go.
scheduled Zoom meeting with two officials in Israel, one Jewish defender of Israel in the United States.
Josh Hammer. One of the Jewish people in Israel was Rabbi Wolicki. All right.
I'm in the room with Charlie. Blake's in the room. Mikey's in and out. What do you think we're talking about, Jack?
I know.
We are talking about how.
All right. We're going to get to what they're talking about. I don't know. I didn't know. Did you guys know? Did you guys know that Blake and Mikey and Frank were in the room for that Zoom call? I didn't know that. The other good question would be, why is Mikey in and out of the room? What's that about? How come none of them before told us that they were all there in person? What was so important that they all be there in person the night before? I thought Charlie, didn't he watch the Chicago Bears game the night before? Wasn't Erika made him dinner, but no, they went out to dinner. And then I thought Frank said he got a call from Charlie, and Charlie said, I need you to come over at like 8 or 9. We've heard so many conflicting stories about that night. It's insane.
The propaganda war against Israel is gaining ground, even though it's all lies and deception. And Charlie is asking these guys, how can I better defend the truth regarding Israel? You guys help me with that.
That's right.
guys. It gets worse. It just gets worse. We know that Charlie didn't actually need help. He wrote a 7-page letter to Bibi, who shared it with Rabbi Wolicki in May 2025. He told Rabbi Wolicki what to do. He told Bibi what they need to do. Now we're supposed to believe that the reason for this phone call was for him to ask these people how he could defend them here. That was the whole point of the 7-page freaking letter, dummy. Josh Hammer just got destroyed by Dave Smith at the Student Action Summit in freaking summer 2025. He's not asking Josh Hammer for advice. He'd freaking called Dave Smith before he asks Josh Hammer. And he sure as heck ain't asking Rabbi Wolicki, who is best friends with Aaron Molan.
I was in this meeting. It lasted 50 minutes.
That's interesting.
This idea that Charlie was giving up on Israel is false.
Not only is it
Not only them has. How about we just remember what Charlie said? What did Charlie say? I'm freaking done. Okay, the week of the assassination, he does that podcast with Megyn Kelly. He said he's done. After this meeting, which is weird because if Frank's there, why does he text Frank? That's interesting. After this meeting, Charlie sends out a text and says, I think they're all going to unalive me. Sends it to Frank, Andrew Kolvet, and Dan Flood. After that meeting, with all prominent Jewish people connected to Philly and defending Philly. And Rabbi Wolicki said it himself, that phone call, that meeting was combative. It was confrontational. Rabbi Wolicki said that himself. Okay, then if Charlie's just calling for pointers, hey, help me phrase my arguments to defend Philly. What's confrontational about that? Why would there be any combat, like verbal combat? Like, there wouldn't be, because you'd be on the same side. You'd be defending the same points, the same positions. You're just asking for pointers on how to do it better. But if you don't feel the same way, which we know Charlie didn't, because we can just listen to his own words. We can read his own words. We can watch him say what he said with Megyn. We can watch what he said when he was on the PBD podcast. We can watch how he questioned Josh Smith, how he moderated that event. We could look back at the Turning Point chapter head focus group that he did with Andrew Kolvet over the summer of 2025, asking everything about Philly. We can read his text where he said, I'm done, man. You guys leave me no choice. I got to leave the cause. The Philly cause, the pro-Philly cause, I'm done. I'm not going to be bullied like this, man. I'm out of here. And I'm going to have Tucker and Candace on. Go Max, Tucker. Go Max on Philly, Tucker. Oh, but he wasn't done. He wasn't done with Philly. And then we watched the video clips of him saying, like, Jeffy Epi worked for Mossad. They're involved in trying to control our politicians. Frank's a liar, and so is Jack, and it's gross.
false, but I'm going to be off on time. I'll just say this. Before that, Charlie had asked me, is the cutest thing ever. Oh. My phone rang. It's Charlie. What's up? Hey, can you give me a sermon that you've done that just kind of brings everything together about Israel's existence and the promises of God and its future? And I said, no. I said, Charlie, you're talking great questions, buddy. You're talking about sermons from the Bible. I don't have a sermon. I have hundreds of sermons on this.
Jack has hundreds of sermons on this. I would even argue he has thousands. He is a Zionist through and through to the end. How he and Greg Laurie were talking about the Iran war right when it kicked off was this was prophecy fulfillment. Christ is but around the corner. We must stand with Philly. We must destroy Iran. This is God's will. It's just nuts, man. My back is cramping up, guys. This is about the point I was going to stop at anyways. Yeah, like right at 30. And I still want to be able to play a couple things. So let me get to a couple things. Wait, hold on. If you guys haven't done so already, please do me a favor and hit the like and hit the subscribe. It's the best way that you can help support this channel. It's a free way to do it, and it's the best and easiest way. Okay? Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, let's get back to this real quick. I'm going to play a clip that somebody I know on X named Matthew St. Baker posted on X. Charlie Kirk was light years ahead of his time. If only he was here to help us with his own assassination investigation.
Hello, everybody. So the Secret Service director is testifying in front of Congress right now. So we know that a sniper took a photograph of Thomas Crooks over 20 minutes before the shooting, even before anybody decided to try and stop him. So a sniper took a photograph of him, and they still allowed Donald Trump to take the stage. And so right now we have the Secret Service director testifying, and she knows nothing. Multiple questions are being asked of her. Hey, did somebody approach him? Did someone try to stop him? Why was Donald Trump allowed to take the stage? She says, oh, I don't have the information. I don't know. Remember, the Secret Service has been taken over by diversity, equity, inclusion. It's been completely consumed. It has been taken over by the very same woke forces that Kamala Harris wants to try to bring into this country and into our government. Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna has tweeted, quote, after leaving the oversight briefing this morning, I'm more convinced than ever that Crooks wasn't working alone. Paul Sperry, an amazing investigative journalist, says a veteran law enforcement officer just intimated to me that Biden's Secret Service denied Trump's additional security for 2 years before the assassination attempt, which indicates they wanted this to happen. They denied extra manpower, snipers, barricades, and mags. Do you believe that this was just a bunch of stupid people? Or is this something worse than that? You now see on full display that she'll never be held accountable. You want to fire the Secret Service director? We must win in November. Make sure that Kamala Harris never becomes president. This is one of the greatest scandals in American history, where a former president gets shot. He gets shot in the ear.
Do you see his ear, by the way? So remember in the Aspen video, one of the things that was pointed out as like pointing to it being AI was Charlie's this part of his ear. That's actually just how Charlie's left ear was. I still agree it was AI. Like the messed up part of his eyelid was messed up. His fingers were messed up and his mouth and teeth were messed up. But this is how his right ear looks. Okay. It's always been like that.
Praise God, he's alive and well. Who's actually going to be held accountable? The answer is nobody, unless we win.
No, sadly, Charlie, you're wrong about that. Because even though Trump won, he shut down the investigation into Butler.
There is a cover-up underway that is worse than Watergate. And even if you're a Democrat watching this right now, just look what they just did to Joe Biden. They took out Joe Biden by different means. So in 1 week, you have a president that got shot and a president that got removed. Who's actually in control of this country? Share this video and comment below.
Man, I miss Charlie, dude. All right, let's go to this next video, Charlie. Hold on. All right. Oh, what? I don't know why it did that. All right. It interrupted the browser. I don't want to hit refresh. It's not going to play the audio and stuff. We're at 3 hours and 13 minutes. Let's see. I think I got to all the super chats. If anyone has one that they want to get in before we end, do so now while I check a couple administrative boxes. I will be having Matthew Tucciarone back on. We also will be finished breaking down the rest of this video with Jack Hibbs and Frank Turek probably tomorrow. I also have other videos of Erika Kirk from before, while Charlie was alive and while they were together, and even when they were brand new. I have a video that my wife found and looked over and got a bunch of timestamps from 4 years ago that is really interesting that we're going to look at. Also, I definitely wanted to reach back out to John Bray and see if he'd be interested in coming back on the show. I'll let you know what he says. Hopefully he says, yes, we've done a lot of shows together. And I know he definitely got a big shout out today on Candace, and we need to keep that that theory of the assassination alive. I think it is the most plausible, most likely. And I think the more people know about that, and the more people hear about that, the better. And we should get it out there. And while people are looking into who John Bray is after being on, being shown on Candace's show, we need to get him out there. And more people need to see and hear his theory and any new breakthroughs that he might have. He's never done working on it. He's constantly working on it. And he's a good dude. He's a really good stand-up guy. So that's coming. And then a future show with Matt will be coming. And I think I also, I reached out to Tommy Borum, and he wants to come back on the show as well. And so that's in the works as well. Okay, so stay tuned for those things. If you guys don't want to donate through or support through YouTube, that's fine. You don't have to, and you don't have to anyway. Either way, the best way you can do it is to hit the like, subscribe. Also, after the video posts, go over and just throw a quick comment in. Great show. Keep it up. Love it. Whatever. It doesn't have to be a lot. Just a quick little comment. It helps the algorithm. And then you can do another free thing. It's called hyping the video. You just click hype points and you just hype the video for free, and it helps push the video to new people. All right. You can also donate money and support the channel here through the Venmo account at Blackline Brief. Just scan the QR code. Okay. Or you can do it here at buymeacoffee.com/the Blackline Brief. Just when you guys do so, please just write a memo, a note as to what you would like your money and support to go to, and I'll make sure that it does. All right. I appreciate all of you guys. I got to all the supers. All right. Thank you guys so much for another great show. Love you guys. You guys are the best community on the internet. Appreciate all of you. Love all of you. God bless all of you. Have a great night. I'll see you guys tomorrow.